Hello. Welcome to the stream. Yeah, let's see. Cameras look all right. Yeah, we still got Rhuk. Here's what I should do though for Rhuk. Hold on.
Come farther and farther away every day. He's traveling away.
No, I'm just gonna say. Here we go. Yeah, there you go. I'm just gonna put this over the. Just gonna put Rip Tart.
Die though.
Rip Tart. Rip Tart.
Okay, so hold on. Duolith should be Dilith.
Oh yeah. Those aren't even on the map. Those are things that someone drew in like the first season. Those aren't canon, especially not anymore.
I think the Polylith should be canon, but the other ones,
yeah.
I don't know.
It was back because that was when there was the whole monolith that appeared in like the fucking Utah desert or something.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I took care of it.
It was a relevant meme when it happened, but
Finally watched 2001. That's some weird shit.
I actually haven't ever seen that. Yeah, but
you watched 2001 is what you said?
Yeah. I was not drunk enough for that.
Yeah, it's a very long movie, but I think it's good.
Something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's a cool thing about that movie people don't realize is the opening sequence they have like the apes with the clubs, and then he throws the club up.
Yeah.
The space station they go in on is actually like a nuclear satellite that's meant to launch nukes. It's supposed to be like, oh, we went from clubs to nuclear orbit satellite.
Oh yeah. Huh.
Interesting.
Whoopsie.
Jake, shut up, bitch. I'm just joking.
Okay, so
anyway, normal conversation.
We're here, and while I am getting the map updated, because I actually do have a new version of it, I want you guys to do a recap. What happened last time?
Last time we assailed.
Started at the bottom.
Yeah, we started.
Now we're here.
Yeah, we assailed the flying castle. I did everything in combat. These got 2 jokes.
No, you didn't.
I have successfully failed at my new spell. Stop a bird.
Oh, that's true. I forgot about that.
But we won.
Yeah, we won. Yeah, we won anyway. Yeah, but we started around the wellspring with Hilda dead and her followers inside the castle, and then we simply ascended the castle by flying while invisible, and brought 30 or so boarmen with us by raising them up in a big prism of water. Then we the boarmen just slaughtered their way through the castle while we tried to kill the shaman who was mind controlling a lot of Hilda's followers. And then we, and by we I mean I'm pretty sure Talvo got like every hit. Except for I dinked him in the back with a mace for 2 HP.
You did dink the guy in the back.
And then he died, and then we captured 10 I think. Yeah, 10 of the followers of Hilda who had been mind controlled, and now they're no longer mind controlled, and now they're our buddies.
Yeah.
We also took the castle, like it's ours.
Yeah. Actually,
I believe I was supposed to either get a message from my spy network, or you already gave it to me, and I'm too.
You haven't gotten it yet. You will get it soon.
Okay.
Yeah, that'll happen here in a second. So you will actually. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give you guys all inspiration, which is something I always forget to do. I think Talvo already has inspiration, right? So all right, so then it'll just be Helios and Adau. We'll get inspiration because I think you guys had a really good plan last time that I hadn't considered. I considered the whole like flying thing, but that was like all I knew that you would be offered by the Boarman was like we could try to like have you fly or something, right? I wasn't expecting the whole like water bend a bunch of them up to the castle, or the like invisibility plus fly combo, right? So that was good, and I think it was a neat plan. So yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I try to give inspiration for stuff like that if I remember.
That's all I had to use to get rid of invisibility.
Inspiration is just like a free reroll, right?
It's a well, so I let people use it a couple ways. If you do a bad roll, you can do a reroll, or if you declare it ahead of time, you can use it to get advantage. But functionally, there's not really much difference.
For a bad roll.
The what?
What if I purposely throw a roll so I can use the wild magic?
You could try. I mean, literally, it's like basically it's like you can choose to give yourself advantage or disadvantage if you want in that case, right? So yeah, it's yeah.
You know what? Divination wizard plus wild magic sorcerer. I just thought about
Honestly,
that.
I've been thinking about it. I would love to do a wild magic campaign where the guy's like trying to be good at magic, but he keeps fucking up. It'd be really funny.
Yeah.
Sure.
But yeah, so let's see here. So okay, so there's a couple other things that happened. We kind of wrapped up with you guys getting some loot from the place.
Yeah.
A few, like nothing too crazy as far as magic items. But you also have a flying castle.
Yeah.
No fuck ton of money win the lottery.
And yeah, and just to put in perspective, a flying castle is like is like literally priceless, right? To put in perspective, building a normal castle in this part of the world would probably run you maybe like 25,000 gold pieces for one of this size. And that's a normal castle, not one that fucking flies, right? So, yeah. Yeah, okay, so then, let's see. While I'm still working on getting the map updated. Was there anything else that we missed?
I think so. That was a very straightforward.
Yeah.
Straightforward success, which bodes well for today.
Yeah. Here's what I'll say. I did find I was looking for different castle maps that looked like what I imagined the flying castle to be like. So I'm gonna show you guys one I found that I think most closely represents what it looks like. This one's not flying though, but okay. So imagine if this one were, instead of like having this like moat or like ravine around it, that would be like the edge of the island, right?
Okay.
And instead of, and also the main keep part would be a lot bigger. Here, I could actually just draw on it. So let me do that. It would be like.
So we have like a giant open area with like a house in it. That's cool.
You do have a courtyard, yeah. Again, it would be like, it would probably be more like.
Already on the quad.
Hold on. Like the keep would be more like this big, and then let me put it in the right spot. Oh, hold on. There we go. Like instead of like the instead of this small bit here. Oh god. You get the idea. It would be like this much of it. You get the idea. I'm gonna try to go in at some point and like basically modify this map I found. It doesn't have the artist name on it, but I found it on like fucking like Facebook or something. Like some Facebook page. But I'll try to let's see. Here, let me I do want to give credit if I'm just gonna use it, so yeah, here we go. It's from a page called The Reclusive Cartographer. Oh, they have a website. Oh shit. So yeah, The Reclusive Cartographer. So yeah, anyways. But yeah, this is basically what what I'll do is probably try to make my own version of this that is actually more accurate. But it essentially looks like this, where you have a decent sized wall going around. You have a decent sized courtyard. There would probably be a few other like war tents set up that they were using, right? And then a couple other like larger buildings that would be like barracks and like a stable / like maybe just living quarters area. And then the keep takes up a good chunk of the space here, right? The keep would then take up, it probably would actually even be a little bigger than this. So yeah, that's the idea. Just to give you guys a rough idea of what the castle looks like.
Yeah.
And yeah. So let's go back to the map then. So yeah, so you guys I think the plan was you guys were going to spend a couple days here while you are stocking this up and everything, right? And then
Yeah, I think we wanted to figure out the logistics of like, we don't really know how the flying mechanism like works. We know that it does fly. We have a control crystal, but you know,
Yeah.
what is? Oh.
This is the new map. Hold on, I just gotta stretch it out.
So,
Okay.
can you just put it over the old map like that?
Yeah.
Isn't that how they do landscaping? You just
I'm just gonna. Well, I'm gonna make. Hold on.
Why are all the hexes? Oh. God.
It's because I have to line them up. Don't worry. It's a
I feel
little.
like I'm not wearing. I feel like I'm not wearing my glasses. Like, it's a little fuzzy. It's a little.
There you go. I think that's. Wait, it's just a little off. Oh god, it's just a little not lined up. Hold on.
I hate it.
Hold on. I gotta move you guys on my screen. Hold on. And then...
Oh, you know, if I take my glasses off, it actually looks fine.
Okay, I think that's almost exactly lined up. It's almost lined up. Oh, the top needs to be. Hold on. Oh, I think that's good.
ooh, that's like I can see clearly now.
Now the rain is...
Okay, then we send that,
DMCA is gone.
and then it goes away. No, but then no, because I'm deleting the old one. There we go. Now I think everything is in the right. I think everything is in the right spot, right?
Looks right. The duolith and the monolith and the polylith are all there. So everything
Yeah,
is
because
good.
those are on the
All
wrong
is
layer. Yeah. Okay, let me get rid of those. I'm gonna also get rid of the pig. It's supposed to be, I guess, a Boarman smoking a cigar or something.
That's
I don't
our
know.
shrine. Do not remove that.
That
It's
was,
too
that
late.
was
You have
actually
invoked?
the life-size image of Kurbach.
I got rid of all of it.
Kurbach's good name. You will pay in due time.
So okay, and then I gotta make it so the stream
It's
can
everything
actually.
sound.
There you go. Now the stream. Let's do the stream. Okay, it's still not done. Like this whole southwestern island is not done at all. It's just
So we
it's
get there.
it's actually it's like the Minecraft flat version where you just play and it's completely flat.
It's three blocks deep, and then you hit impenetrable rock.
Yeah, exactly. No, but I have more work to do, and I've only there's some population centers like settlements mostly missed. Like most of them are filled in, but there's definitely some missing. Some farmlands and other minor rivers.
What is this guy?
Yeah, there's a couple of volcanoes.
Is that freaking Mount Doom, dude?
Hell yeah, I would.
There's some volcanoes over there.
Boarman lava proof. Probably not.
Well, yeah. So this is a much better. But yeah, now it's much more complete than it was before. Before it was like half complete or less. Now it's like 2/3 complete. So
Someone went out with the map and was like, "Oh, we gotta get this shit down."
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, it actually does make sense that you guys have probably been like, you probably actually have in the Flying Castle a war room with a much more detailed map. This actually makes perfect sense too, because here's one thing I'll say is that marked on the map, way up over like here somewhere,
Volcano.
way in the Western Mountains, there would be marked locations that say they would be written in Giant. Do any of you guys speak Giant or Dwarvish, which is related?
I think I speak. Hold on, wait.
If you
I
speak
gotta open it up.
Dwarvish,
I believe I do speak Dwarvish. I do.
okay, so like yeah, basically, in my world, like basically, Giant is the equivalent of like Old Norse, and Dwarvish is like the equivalent of like old like ancient Gothic language, which is like another Germanic relative in real life.
I
So
like the idea that giant is just common, but the letters are really.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, but no, so Giant is like Old Norse. Dwarvish is like Gothic, which is a real life language spoken by Eastern Germanic people that was somewhat related to Old Norse. And then like the humans of the Northlands, where Rhuk is from, also speak something that is basically the equivalent of like Icelandic, so it's not Norse, right? You know,
But it's basically Old Norse.
yeah, they're all related.
Intelligible.
Yeah, so they're related. So normally I say if you know one of those, then you actually can decipher a good bit of the other ones. So like you said, you do speak Dwarvish then, Duncan? Adau does?
Indeed.
Okay, so in that case you would so Adau, you don't really need a translator for written stuff. For spoken stuff, you would need like someone who speaks it.
Yeah.
But for figuring out what stuff on a map means, it's not that hard. And so you could actually figure out that there are markings over here, and actually here I'll make a circle. There's actually a few different things in kind of a larger general area here that are marking out strategic locations clearly of the so-called greater giants, which Hilda called herself.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. And you
God,
it would
she
actually,
was racist too?
I mean, kinda, yeah. But you guys would actually it would be somewhat common knowledge that Hilda is not the only one. In fact, Rhuk and his friends killed another one of them. And there's only a few left, though. No one knows exactly how many is left. But Hilda was
at least.
Yeah.
Are we the racists for trying to kill him? I don't.
Hilda is
I think so.
well, so that's the
You're
thing
not
though, is that
racist
they
for killing a racist.
that's the other thing though, is that they are also not like true giants from what you guys can tell, and there are true giants in this part of the world, although they are pretty rare. Like you guys so like this whole time we've had this campaign and whatever, right? You notice how there's never been any mention of like giants except for the one frost giant that attacked you guys, I think.
Yeah.
There's the one frost giant that you guys did get attacked by. And there's also not been really any mention of dragons as an actual threat. They're kind of like a mythical thing. And that's because, like 1,000 years ago, basically the last giants and dragons of these continents essentially wiped each other out. Not literally, not fully, but like it's very, very rare to find either a giant or a dragon because they basically did an all-out war.
Well, then why am I even a bard?
Well, because there's, now there's new wars to be waged. But yeah.
I can't wait to run into the incel dragon who's like, I can't find a girl.
Yeah, but no, so there are actually a few dragons that are known of, but...
we have to defeat him in a debate, not a battle.
But yeah, it's one of those things that, like, oh, jeez. But yeah, no, the, and like lesser giants are still somewhat common. So like the frost giant you guys ran into, every once in a while there will be a frost giant that kind of terrorizes like an area up in the mountains or hills somewhere, right? There'll be hill giants that come out and like just like rampage around. That's not too uncommon, but like storm giants or cloud giant, right? Greater giants, really, really unheard of. So let's give some background. This may seem unrelevant, but I promise it will be relevant in a bit today. Because you guys are going to get attacked by both a giant and a dragon. No,
At the same time.
Yeah, the giant's riding the dragon.
They team up to fucking kill us.
Yeah, no,
Imagine.
but
Enemies to lovers plotline.
So you guys will take a couple days here to ready the fortress, the flying fortress, this keep for travel. Who was the one who had the flying crystal?
Helios.
Okay, Helios. Okay, so Helios, you would basically. So do you guys all know how like attunement slots work? I think at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least.
So
Fair enough.
Maybe I shouldn't have the crystal.
I didn't get shit, so I guess I don't really need to know.
Well, so
how
it just means like
attunement slots
basically
work.
every character gets 3 attunement slots. It's a limit on how many like powerful magical items you can have.
Yeah.
So I bring this up because to say normally something like this crystal would be, but I'm not going to make it count for one because it's like, I don't know, it's not really like a weapon or anything, so.
Yeah.
But it
beat
is
someone
a
with it.
similar process to attuning to something. When you attune to something, you take like an hour. In this case, it'd be more like a day of basically meditating and like figuring out how to like bond with this crystal.
Just staring at rocks all day. Like,
Yeah. So Helios would
Crystals.
Helios, you would do this. You would basically have to bond with this crystal. But after it's done, there'll probably be a jolt.
first.
There'll probably be a jolt like when it happens, like, and you guys all go like, "Oh God, what's happening?"
Oh yeah. Well, he's like, oh.
Yeah. But then Helios, you actually start to figure it out. You start to realize, okay, wait, it's interesting. It's actually one of those things that just, if you hold on to the crystal with the hand, and then just basically like imagine the castle moving a direction, it moves that direction.
Oh God, this is not okay.
I was imagining it was more like an Xbox controller.
Sounds like in tilt controls. Be like, haha.
No, yeah, it's a purely like psychic thing, basically.
Interesting.
Yeah, so it actually makes it pretty intuitive to control. And there's probably like a bunch of shouts from everyone on the castle and other people below who are like, "Oh God, like what's happening?" As it starts just moving a little bit as you test it, but they realize
Plus one
soon
fear.
enough. Yeah, but yeah, and so at this point, like after a day or two has passed, probably like a day and a half later from that attack, Locke would send a messenger up. I'm assuming you would have put like just a rope ladder down or something so they can.
Yeah.
Yeah. And actually, once you get the
Built the ladder that we
castle,
wanted from the last one.
once you attune with the castle, you could like land it in the water, like a floating island in the wellspring. It's like just big enough. The wellspring is just big enough to fit.
I feel like we don't want to displace all the water, so maybe we'll go like a little closer just so we don't have to build as long of a
It's
ladder.
magical
Okay.
water. It doesn't get displaced.
Well,
Water is incompressible.
well, I mean, it wouldn't just place. It would just
Water is an incompressible fluid.
No, okay, I got you. See, you just lower it, and so it's easier to transport goods back and forth, right? Because, like, I think basically the idea was that you have a bunch of like weapons and stuff here, and that you're going to keep a lot of to arm your people that you have with you now. But you would also give some of the stuff you don't need in exchange for like supplies from the Boarman, like food, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Just a little like quick bookkeeping. The people we have supplying the castle are some of the freed slaves that the Boarman gave us. Do we also have? We were promised a battalion of Boarmen as well. Is that correct?
So what we made that speech.
Oh yeah.
And we got 22 Boarmen to change sides. Well, not change sides, but join our.
But to hang out
Yeah.
with us.
Yeah, to chill. And 10 of the freed mind
Phone
control.
chill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have
Oh
about
yeah, I forgot about the mine.
So you have about 30 people on board, which is enough to, that's a decent amount. It means that at any point in time you can have like 3 guards, like 2 on the walls, 1 on top of the keep or something, and that would still be plenty of rotation to make it so that it's like only every few days per per
fucking
watch.
flies, so we could just go up.
Yeah.
It's just up or down really
Yeah.
fast. And
Yeah, but yeah. So the let's see. So what I will say is that as the kind of day and a half, and before we get to what Locke sends you as a message, there is a it seems like the Boarmen, instead of like tearing down all the defenses or whatever, or demolishing the whole place, they're actually rebuilding the defenses that the giant worshippers and stuff had built. The gate
Maybe
into
double
like the
or
wellspring area. They're actually, because there's so many more men, they're actually building a whole new defense. They built like a whole new outer wall next to that gate.
That sounds about right. Well, I wonder if they have any way to like purify the wellspring again. And that's what they plan to do. They plan to make all of the. Oh, wait, you know what? They plan to make themselves really big, like Kurbak.
believe it, yeah.
I wonder if that would work, honestly.
But
Maybe
yeah,
I'll make a giant elk.
after
Elk
like
around the castle.
after like a day and a half, Locke would send up someone basically asking you to meet with her.
Yeah, I would say that Talvo is like kind of running most of the effort in getting the castle going, and
I'm gonna disagree with you there, Chief.
brother, I ran a
hard
spy,
disagree.
I ran a spy network for a fucking year.
And okay, and I'm an accountant, so get fucked.
I play the violin.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Whatever the case is, Helios is definitely off playing instruments.
You would be doing inventory. I would be doing like HR, like people management.
Okay,
HR.
yeah. All right, sure. I'll be
The
IT,
elevator
you'll be
music.
HR. There we go. Anyway, we'll all
Inspiring
go
people
down
to work.
together to meet with Locke. We're not gonna be like hee and then sneak off, you know. So
Yeah.
What happens
Okay.
while I'm attuned and I leave? Does anything bad happen?
No. It's
Got
like
to unattune.
as long as you are attuned to this, you can go anywhere. As far as you can tell, anywhere, and it doesn't affect it.
Very apprehensively get off. Like,
In fact, you can actually like sense where it is when you're not there.
Phew.
So.
let's have autism then.
yeah.
But yeah.
I can
So.
say that.
Yeah, so we're at the bottom. We're in Locke's tent, I suppose.
Let's actually think.
Oh god. Here, wait. I turn on different music. Okay. Let me lower the volume there. Okay. So. You guys make it to you go down to her tent, and it becomes very clear that it seems like she doesn't plan on really. Her war tent has been moved inside of the wellspring, you know, the wall of trees, but it becomes very clear that she intends to be staying here for a while. It looks like.
Okay.
You said they were like 4 to 5. Like, so the assumption is this almost is gonna be like her new capital, perhaps.
I mean,
That's
yeah.
the one interpretation. And
no.
and yeah, so as you kind of like come up, she's busy like commanding things, but then she orders everyone who's in there, these Boarmen, to leave you guys, and she has you guys sit down, and some soldier, some guard will bring in like some wine or something that was one of the spoils, and they give you some wine. She basically looks at you all and says, "So, what now?"
Well, they had an idea.
What'd you say? Like Helios?
Said, well, they had other ideas before we went on this journey, so I guess we'll.
Oh yeah.
Storyteller. We're figuring out what we're.
Yeah, we're currently thinking about that. I suppose we're waiting for something of a plot hook. But no, but I actually do. You know, I do have some ideas for some short-term goals. That with your aspirations of founding your own kingdom, I'm sure they would be familiar to you. Your queendom, I guess.
Wow.
But
A feminist.
it looks like you're currently in the process of starting that up. But as far as I can tell, this wellspring, the giants destroyed it. They ruined it. So do you have a plan to purify the water, make it usable again for whatever purposes you have, or is it just we're gonna try, we're gonna find out, let your shamans do the work?
The purposes that they were using it for didn't require pure water. The giant worshippers, they were using it to imbue weapons with power. Something that is a lot easier when you have a source of magic like this. Sure, there are other weaponsmiths in large cities like Shiloah or Fluria who can enchant weapons, but such smiths are few and far between, not capable of really equipping an army.
So that's what you intend to do? Just use it for the same purposes they were using it for the weaponry?
She nods. She's like, I'm sure that the wellspring, if purified, would have other purposes, but the infrastructure's there. I intend to use it.
Fair enough. And then out of character, does that mean that all of our guards have +1 weapons? Like because all the weapons on the castle magically imbued?
Yeah, it was, the giants weren't there. The giants' forces were not there long enough to have all of their stuff like converted over. It'd probably be like, it'd still only probably be like every 1 in 3 soldiers as a magic weapon. But that's still like, that's much more than the average. Like the average city guard has maybe like 3 magic weapons in the whole garrison. Like Like the average city is like maybe a couple captains of the guard have an enchanted weapon, and that's it. And most, like in some places, like even iron is pretty rare, like hard to come by in a lot of places in this part of the world. So a lot of people just have like bronze weapons still and shit like that. So
wow, all right.
yeah, and like functionally in game terms, it works the same, but a lot of it is like weaker and it breaks easier, right? And
yeah, bronze kind of shitty.
It really scares me when poetry gives us a bunch of stuff because it's like right before,
We were
like,
just given a castle.
Yeah.
It's
So,
Okay.
here's a bunch of health items. Guess what? Boss battles.
Yeah. So another
that's
out
not
of character
cousin mine.
question.
yeah.
So I know you have 30 people. How many weapons and how many sets of leather, armor, bows, that kind of stuff?
I mean, you have enough to equip everyone decent, like you have enough to equip everyone competently, and then extra if you get more people. You probably have like maybe enough to equip 60 right now.
Okay,
we'll
so this is the kind of thing where it's just fluid. We don't need the precise numbers because it'll just, if we want something, you'll just be like, you have to buy it.
Yeah, it's I'm not gonna really worry about that too much, especially because since you just have like a ragtag bunch, it's like some of them are gonna be wearing like leather, some will be wearing like basic chain, right? Some will be wearing other stuff, right? So yeah.
All right, I will. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
I've gotten in the dwarf fortress mindset in the past couple of days.
Yeah, no, I got you. But yeah, I'm not gonna be too with that stuff like
giant
that.
fortress, not a dwarf.
Yeah. With stuff like that, it's not really going to be an issue equipping more soldiers as long as it's not like a bunch of new soldiers at once. If you want to go out and hire 100 people, at that point you're going to need to like do some work to equip all of them, right?
I don't even think the castle could hold that many people. Well, I mean, with bunks in the giants' rooms, I guess.
Yeah, it's probably about the capacity to hold maybe like a couple of hundred, probably a few hundred. Probably at its upper bounds like 300. But that would be very packed. Like that would be like you wouldn't want to do that long term.
Yeah.
But yeah. So okay. Yeah. So Locke here is she asks you all, or she looks at you all. She says, "Well, I would ask of you that you report to my father."
Okay. Well, is there anything specific you'd like us to say?
I want you...
Specifically to Mulu, who doesn't like you?
So I want you to tell my father what you told me when we met.
Oh, that your brother wanted us to kill you? Yeah, we can do that.
Yes, and other than that, assure my father that I am loyal to our cause.
He inevitably asks for proof. What's the catch here?
Tell him what you see here. I would not be setting up a base so far from home if I intended to go back there anytime soon.
Fair.
I mean,
That's
I
a
guess-
very long walk.
We could bring Hilda's head with us.
That would also work.
That's a good idea.
True.
In fact,
I have the mini bag of holding.
Yeah.
If you bring her head back, that will satisfy
What about
his.
the dog too?
Yeah, both of the heads.
Sure, the dog's head too. The wolf. And she nods. So she's like, I would offer to go back with you, except I may have more battles to fight in the near future.
Yeah, you look a little busy here.
Yeah. You should just if you're feeling up to it, maybe perhaps do a regime change in Unudu so that we can go back there.
She nods. She's like, well, it seems Unudu has sided with Shiloah, and their armies prepare to march here at any point.
Did they? I guess the centaurs let them know where it is. Rip.
Yeah.
Good luck.
That's another reason to drop the castle from orbit on Shiloah. I'm just saying.
She looks at you. She's like,
Okay, that's
she's
one
like,
point in favor.
she's like, she would look at you guys and basically be like, I had intended to keep working with Shiloah longer. They were paying us a decent amount for our mercenary contract, but this is too good of an opportunity to pass up. And the extra several hundred boarmen you brought me on a silver platter certainly help. The few hundred paltry men that they have between Yunudu and Shiloah, they pose no threat to us. If I wanted, I could send our boarmen there right now, and they would rip the whole town to shreds. But I have no desire. If
Cool.
I know you have business, if you do come back this way at any point, I will definitely have more work for you.
Yeah. So Talvo would be like, so our debt is,
She nods.
yeah.
She's
We're
like,
all
wait.
good?
She nods. She's like, this would not have been possible without the help of you all. And although I believe in the
Don't say something
reign.
racist.
She would say, I believe in the reign of our kind, pointing at Helios and then herself. She says, although I believe in the reign of our kind over these lands to be what's best for them, you all have acted with as much courage as even the most courageous Boarman.
For one today. You're
sounds good
in
to me.
spirit. In spirit.
Yeah, I'll be an Untermensch if I leave this room alive.
But no, so basically she lets you know, like, she right now it's kind of she suspects it's gonna be a standoff between Yunudu and Shiloah, and also Yunudu's other ally to the south, that other town. I don't know where's that.
Ugodi.
Yeah, all those three, they were actually, well, I'll just tell you guys, if you guys hadn't done what you did, it was possible there would have been literally a battle of the 5 armies type deal, where like they would have all fought. But instead it has turned into more like 2 of those armies, the 2 Boarman armies, are now 1, and then the other 3 of Shiloah, Yunudu, and Ugodi are like, oh, okay, we gotta band together. So yeah, so it seems like the humans and elves there are mostly humans, but some elves mixed in are they're basically it seems like kind of in a standoff. And she would explain that. She'd basically tell you that she expects that they're not going to attack for a long time because they would need to prepare a much bigger army. And so, but she will say, if you do come back this way, she will have more work for you. And she kind of hints, basically, saying that she would give you the impression that she means like specialist work, not just being foot soldiers. She would want you to basically destabilize those realms in some way.
Could I give Locke a thieves can't
My number.
like keyword? If someone were to say that to her, it would let her know it was part of my network of people.
Yeah, absolutely. That sounds like a good idea. Yeah. I'll write that in my notes. It doesn't even matter what it is. We can just say that you have a keyword.
These are random word generator.
Talvo has a keyword with Locke. If she hears it, she should trust that it comes from Talvo.
Its opponent was the random word.
The narwhal bacons at midnight?
I'm gonna kill you. No.
If she hears it, she trusts that whoever said it is related, is working for Talvo. Okay, got it. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. But yeah, so she would say basically that she doesn't have any work for you right now, but in the future she might have work against her enemies and in the name of her cause. And of course she would tell you like she's willing to either just pay you guys when she has a good footing or help you in other ways. So
Yeah.
It's a
All
good
right.
money.
Gain favor with War Lady. Let's go.
Yeah. Add it to inventory.
And she would also tell you, actually, she would tell you one other thing. It would actually be like, as you guys are standing up, she'd be like, one other thing.
Yes.
My father and my brother and I and our shamans, we have been enemies with the so-called greater giants. She spits on the ground. For many decades now. And we have found information about them that may not even be on whatever maps and charts are in there. Just so you know, this is purely for your own benefit if it's something you wish to pursue. My father and, again, our inner circle found this out a few years back. We know that the Greater Giants apparently know of 3 flying castles that exist.
Chain and they got like a train.
Including your own. So there are at least 2 other flying castles that we know exist in these lands.
Would you like one?
She shrugs. She's like, I have no way of getting to them from what I hear of the rumors of where they are. But I can tell you what I know, and perhaps you could get one. Hell, if I have enough money by that point, if my conquests go well, I could potentially buy one from you.
Now I want to ram 2 flying castles into each other.
I know, I'm saying, if we have...
Yeah.
Look,
If
if
we have 2
to,
extras, then we have 1 to experiment.
But yeah, so
That's what I mean. We can drop that one on Shiloh.
But yeah, so she would then kind of continue. She'd be like, the one you have is probably the one that was the easiest to take. The second castle that we know of, flying castle that we know of, is held by Gorm the Great. Gorm the
I was
Great.
like laugh at his name. Stupid name.
It is a stupid name.
Gorm.
Gorm.
Castle jousting.
Gorm the Great is the leader of the Greater Giants, Hilda's commander. And his castle lies far to the west. And she would actually basically describe the area that you guys saw marked on the map, way up here.
Okay.
So
The
apparently,
volcano.
so Gorm the Great, the leader of the Greater Giants, right? This group that you just fought. Hilda was the second in command. Actually, she would tell you, and you killed Hilda, took her castle, but they have another castle. They have 2 out of the 3 castles. Well, they had 2 out of the 3 castles. Although Locke would tell you that Hilda's was the one that generally went out and did kind of missions like this, like what happened here. The other one is more stationary. And then she would say, the third I know much less about where it is, but it honestly might be easier to take than Gorm's.
I would imagine so.
The
Also,
third... yeah.
Why is Satrafig marked on the map?
Oh, that's where Drake's character was from.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But then, he...
They're both lost in the woods right now.
I mean,
exactly.
Honestly, I'm not starving for a 2nd or 3rd flying castle. I think 1 is like plenty.
She would
I do
actually...
wanna hear,
Just-
yeah, I do want to hear what she has to
She
say
would
about
nod to
it.
this, and she's like, keep in mind that Hilda's castle was more of a forward command post, right? Not necessarily a citadel. Gorm's and the other one that I'll get to in a second could house much more than just weapons and soldiers. Artifacts, powerful things that could help you in whatever other goals you have. The third castle, as far as we know, lies far to the north. And she would point to a map she has on her table and basically circle this entire mountain range way up here, which I'll draw another circle around. And I'll do this one in purple. So she would basically say, like, somewhere far to the north, near the northern icy seas. Supposedly, and we've had much less verification of this, supposedly there exists the last storm giant. At least the last one that lives in these lands. I don't know how many live back where you're from, Talvo. And Talvo...
Why would I ever want to go to Canada?
Yeah.
But
yeah. But yeah, no, so Talvo, you would know, like, she basically mentions this is like rumored to be the last storm giant that exists in these lands. And again, storm giants are like the top of the hierarchy for giants.
Yeah.
So this is where I was talking about earlier, right? Lesser giants you'll occasionally see, but storm giants are unheard of. Like, you guys have never even heard of a storm giant existing. In legends, they existed 1,000 years ago, right? But supposedly they all died out 1,000 years ago. And she would tell you, yeah, like, supposedly there is a storm giant that exists far to the north. And yeah, in Talvo, you would know, like, back home where you're from, Talvo, storm giants are also exceptionally rare. So, but there are at least, like, probably a dozen of them in, like, the Europe continent equivalent, right?
Yeah.
So they do exist there. They're just very, very rare, as is. So.
I think I've asked this before, but how long has it been since the Alderland incident?
Like a couple years.
Okay. It's like
Yeah.
same decade?
Yeah.
Or...
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
What's the Alderland?
It's from
It's our last campaign.
yeah,
Oh,
and one
okay.
of the big bad guys. Well, the I think he ended up being the final boss of that campaign. Was a storm giant. So.
Okay.
Did they draw that angle? Oh well.
Yeah. Nice.
Rhombus Canada.
Yeah.
Rhombus Canada isn't real. It can't hurt you.
Yeah. So. Anyways, though. So she would share this with you, and again, that's basically all she has, is just that supposedly a storm giant has been seen flying a castle around up there, and that's all she knows. So
Shit.
if you wanted to go look for them, that would be the harder one to find, but also potentially the easier one to take, because a storm giant is very strong, don't get me wrong, but Gorm and, like, the greater giants are much more organized, and, like, as you saw, Hilda had, like, a whole, like, army set up, right? So
Okay, so he's harder to find but stupid. So, got it.
but yeah, so anyways, she would that's all the rumors she would have. She would basically be like, you know, do with this information what you will. I suspect it's not going to be immediately helpful, but in the future.
I mean, I'm pretty sure I did this a couple sessions ago, but I'd like to do it again. Like, when we had captured the castle, I would have, like, sent a raven, you know, to let my people know, like, what's going on.
Actually, yeah. So it's funny though, because as you walk out of her tent, you actually see a guard coming towards the tent, hauling a person along by, like, their collar. And Talvo, you would actually recognize this person because it's someone from your network.
Okay.
And the Boarman is like he's not doing it violently. He's clearly just holding the guy because he doesn't trust him. He would actually call out to Talvo.
Is this yours?
And yeah, he would literally be like, "Is this one yours, Talvo?"
Yeah, I would hold. Yes, yeah, he's mine.
And
He's
yeah,
with me.
and he just lets him go and is like, and fucks off and does other Boarman things. But yeah, so this guy kind of scurries over and he's like, and this is just like some minor, like, no name in your network, but you would know his name, but he's like Talvo, what, this is crazy.
Yeah, I know.
He nods. And he would actually, do we have a name of any of your lieutenants? Let's see, you had didn't the one die, the one that we had a name
Yeah,
for?
he did.
Okay, we need to come up with a name of, like, your second in command.
Jeffrey.
Here, I will return in a
Okay.
second. Josh 2. Returning.
He's back.
Jeffrey? You want Jeffrey?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let me write that down. Jeffrey.
He would have assumed. I don't remember the other guy's name, but he would have assumed it's a very
it was
fluid power structure.
Yeah.
It's very anarchistic.
It's spelled like this though, I've decided. That's how Jeffrey's spelled.
Geoff.
No, it's Jeffrey. I actually had a classmate that was named Jeffrey and it was spelled like that in, like, high school. Anyways. Oh yeah, I forgot. I forgot the Xyle's real name is Josh. Okay, yeah, it's actually Josh Xylamos.
Oh yeah, okay. Josh Xylamos Jeffrey.
Yeah. No, so it's Jeffrey for short. Yeah. Josh Xylamos Jeffrey for short. We'll be here and be like, basically what's going on? Like this is crazy. Like he's like, I knew you were with Boarman, but I knew you were with Locke now, but
Yeah, things got a little out of hand, but I want to know what you guys have been up to. I mean, because I'm like, Jester, we're kind of geared up right now. Like, if we can get people together, maybe we can go save, Aya? Was that his name?
Yeah, Aya.
I mean,
He nods and he's like, he's like, well, yeah. So I'm here about this. So this guy's not. Wait, sorry, no, this guy's not Jeffrey. He was sent by Jeffrey. Sorry,
Okay.
I mixed it up.
So,
Yeah.
I was gonna ask that.
Yeah, no. This guy's Billy Bob.
Okay.
So.
Well, actually, no. This guy's Keenan.
Okay, this guy's Keenan. Yeah.
The underling.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. So Keenan, who works for Josh Zylmos, Jeffrey. So Keenan is okay. So like Jeffrey sent me, but let's talk in private. Just
Yeah, I would just kind of like usher him over, and we'd stand like around the corner of Locke's tent and just have a little private one-on-one.
Like he's like this might take a while. We should. He's like I saw you guys when I was coming down from that castle. Is that yours?
Oh yeah. Actually, you know what? I'll just, because we lowered the castle, I'll just take them into like the war room and like lock the door behind us.
Yeah, I was gonna say you guys could just go. You have a war room, so yeah.
one.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually my second war room because I did have that cool war room I brought Locke to.
Okay. Hold on. Yeah.
Duncan needs spot time, but I'm
that's fine
for now, so it's fine.
Okay, so yeah, we'll do this. We'll do this here then, and then we can fill Duncan in when he gets back. So once you guys get to like a private space, then he's like, okay, so Jeffrey's been doing a lot of digging for information. He got in touch with some old contacts on the coast, and you would tell from like he would mean this coast, the southern coast.
Yeah,
which which, by the way, I actually have names for a lot of these cities now. Or not a lot, but a few of them. We'll get to that though. So he would tell you, although actually I gotta go pull that up now. Yeah, okay. So he would tell you that where did I put this? He would tell you that the hold on, I'm really trying to find these names, but of these cities because I wrote a whole bunch of them down. Is it this one?
Helios.
What? What did you do?
I named one.
Hold on. Oh god, what did you name it? Jeffrey Lynn? You spelled his name wrong. It has an E in it at the end.
Oh, whoops.
Okay, where the fuck is this? Hold on, I'm trying to fucking find these.
Well.
Oh, here it is. It's not in the same folder as all my other shit. That's why I couldn't find it. That makes sense.
Like Disney World.
I have so many documents in all like these different folders on my hard drive and on my Google Drive. Yeah, here we go. Okay, so yeah, actually I'm actually just gonna put the names here now while we're on this. So I'm gonna delete Jeffreyland, sorry.
Oh. Bring him back. Hold on.
So this one is called Falayan. Falayan is this city. Let me make so the stream can see this part of the map a little better. because this is what we're going to be discussing here. So that's Falayan. There is up the river from that is Taisha, actually.
Oh, you know what? It just
Taisha.
occurred to me that this big ass river is supposed to be like the Mississippi kind of, right?
Basically, yeah.
So right about here is about where I live in real life.
Yeah, exactly. Hold on.
I'm over here.
Yeah, actually, how far
I'm like,
are you from the Mississippi
How do I
TSM?
ping?
How far am I from it?
Yeah.
If I stood on top of my house, I could see it.
Oh, really? Okay.
Shit, that's
I didn't
cool.
realize, because I was thinking, because Iowa's eastern border is the Mississippi.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. Because I was like, I couldn't. Yeah, I didn't know how far in from
No,
there you were though.
No, Dubuque is it's the oldest city west of the Mississippi, and the whole idea is it was like a big trading post.
Yeah.
So the river.
I've flown
Okay.
over you before.
Then this one up
How do you make
here
a ping dot?
is
Dad, how do you do that?
Wakur. If you hold left click, it pings.
Yeah.
So
Oh, it's a hold left click. Okay.
yeah. So okay. So all these cities
I'm over here.
from Floria to the coast, and because of the fact this is a major river, there would obviously be smaller towns and cities on the way. But I'm just not marking those right now. These are like the really big ones, right? That are like seats of the government in those areas. So, anyways, so okay, so
Big government.
so the like each of these would basically be like the capital of the kingdom that kind of rules the surrounding part of the river and everything. And it's actually interesting. So these areas, this is like general knowledge that all your characters would know. These river like areas generally have been more human dominated, but with also like a pretty decent minority of elves. Like the along the river, a lot of these settlements are generally like maybe 75% human, 20% elves, and then the rest is a mix of halflings and maybe a couple dwarves here and there.
Float down the river.
But yeah, so the but it's actually this is kind of more general knowledge, but the cities themselves are generally pretty human dominated, with a lot of like the further out settlements being elves, some humans, right? So it's kind of like a bit of a demographic split, and there have been actually conflicts over that in the past, where like the rural like elven farming communities don't get along with the rural human communities, or they don't get along with the cities, right? Stuff like that.
Yeah, the coastal elite Democrats don't like the rural Republicans.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
I'm kind of used to that. Yeah. I get it.
Yeah. Oh, jeez. But no, anyways though, so Keenan here is gonna give you the information, and that's a double entendre there, I guess, because in both meanings of it. So, okay, now let me go back to my actual notes. Okay, so yeah, so he's gonna have a bunch. This is gonna be plot hook central here. So,
Oh boy.
so he would tell you that Jeffrey has been able to kind of hook up with a few people who weren't necessarily part of your network, but are informants who, you know, who he and you met. Because originally, when you made it to this continent, TSM, Talvo, actually landed in Falayan, and then basically went up the river, kind of gathering followers as he went, till finally he made it all the way up the river and around to Pune. And then we started this, branch of the campaign. So you've actually been through a lot of these cities before, even if it was just once or twice, maybe. But you made some contacts there. And so Jeffrey would tell you, Keenan would tell you that Jeffrey has made contact with some again. And, okay. So there would be a couple things that he would tell you. The first is that... the first is kind of a more general thing that would definitely interest Talvo, which is that Falayan has recently been basically taken over by the Dragon Elves.
Oh.
they've sort of slowly been increasing their influence, but then recently there was essentially a coup, and there wasn't even much resistance because at this point they have such a strong influence there. It was more like, we're gonna take over, and no one tried to stop them. To remind you guys, the dragon elves and like their lizard folk subjects and all the slave caste they have, their whole empire is to the south, off the edge of the map, in a chain of islands, a large chain of islands.
Archipelago.
Yeah. But they have for several hundred years now, actually, they've been trying to increase their influence along the southern coast here, and they have a good bit. A couple other like minor settlements on the coast are already under their control, have been for many years. But Phalion is like one of the larger cities they've managed to do this with now, and it's pretty recent.
Gotta save the lizards.
Yeah. Hey, Duncan. Hello.
Hello.
We're talking about some developments that TSM or Talvo's informant is bringing to you guys, and his name is Keenan. We decided the informant's name is Keenan, and
He
works for Jeffrey, who is Talvo's right hand man now.
After Rhuk got the last one killed.
Yeah, Rhuk got the last one killed, but yeah. So we just finished talking about the first kind of revelation that this guy's brought, which is that I also have names for these cities on the river now, Phalion, the one closest, the first major city once you hit the coast, or come in from the coast, has been taken over by dragon elves. So dragon elves have actually fully gained control of Phalion. And the rumor, where this kind of becomes more relevant to Talvo, is that supposedly they're also, it seems like, trying to work their way up the river, conquering minor baronies or like small towns on the way. And it seems like Taisha, the next big hub, is also kind of in a sort of tense state right now. It seems like the rumor that you hear that Keenan relays is that Taisha apparently has a faction that is working with the dragon elves, it seems. But beyond that,
would that be the pig farm?
The what?
That's Ohio.
No. Yeah, no, it's not Ohio. But no. So and supposedly though, this has led to increased tension. The kind of tension in this area has led to a bunch of attacks from a major elven raiding group. So there's kind of like all along the like plains here, right, like this Great Plains basin here, or Highlands area, I guess. For a long time, it's kind of been dominated by these elves that basically raid convoys going through the area. Because there are actually a few major roads that go towards like the west coast, where there's a bunch of major settlements, or into the mountains to trade with dwarves, right? There have been trading routes there in the past, and they are still used, but for several hundred years now, there's been a kind of dominance of these raiding elves who actually ride into battle on like antelope, like pronghorn deer, sort of, or whatever.
Yeah.
Like a giant elk.
Yeah, it's not elk, but yeah, it's like antelope. If you've ever been out west, you've probably seen them. Yeah. These are ones that are bigger than normal and bred for the purpose of riding into battle. And so they are they normally operate in like pretty small groups that just raid convoys. And it's been pretty normal to get raided by those if you've been going through these areas. And no one knows exactly where they're based, although rumor has it that they are also based out of a wellspring. Somewhere in the area is where they get these, like, because these pronghorns are not, as they call them, are not like, they're not massive like giant, but they are much bigger than normal. So the rumor is a wellspring is being used to create this breed of ones.
Okay. So hold on, I do have I don't mean to just come back and interrupt, but
no, it's good.
I have what's up with, like, is there any tension here with the border with the Boarmen and the Dragon Elves?
Oh yeah, they do not like each other, and they've been in a state of war for a long time now. It's mostly just one of those things where the Boarmen have they kind of like trade routes or like roads through this area don't really support bringing a whole army down there, or it's one of those things where Kurbach has, for whatever reason, not really prioritized that yet. And it's one.
If you wanted.
Yeah, it seems like Helios, you would know that part of it is that all these city-states around here also would probably take that as an opportunity to like attack, right? There's also like I don't really have any settlements marked here, but there's dwarves up in these mountains all surrounding the Boarmen who would leap on the chance to attack Boarmen settlements. So it's one of those things where the Boarmen have been slowly increasing their influence, but it's not really feasible for them to take a whole expedition down to Falayan.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, because there's just like this one little pass here. It'd be like
Yeah, so
it'd be like a Hell's Gate situation.
yeah. But yeah, so the
camera there.
but yeah, so basically to kind of the relevance to you guys is that it seems like there is kind of this brewing conflict between multiple factions around the area of like Taisha specifically, and also Falayan, right? There's some factions which are actively against the Dragon Elves. There's some that seem to be working with them. There are these like plains dwelling raiding groups of elves who generally have kind of done their own thing, but seem to be attacking. Interestingly enough, they've been attacking the Dragon Elves more often than not. So, because they are like normal elves, high elves, or whatever, right? So it's the Dragon Elves are one group coming in. I was saying this earlier, but and Duncan, I think we kind of talked about this, but like the whole area along the river, again, has mostly been humans for the past several hundred years, but there's also a large amount of elves who have always lived in these areas, these plains and hills. And so, but they're not dragon elves; they're normal elves. Yeah. And so now the dragon elves.
I don't know if I'd use the word normal.
Yeah. So now the
little ableist.
Yeah. So now the yeah. So the dragon elves have moved in, and kind of the dragon elves are not actually that friendly with the high elves, you could say.
They're stoned.
You don't have any skills.
Yeah, I say the sober elves.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
the mudblood elves.
Yeah. So yeah. So that's just something to know, is that there is this tension between multiple groups here brewing, and it sounds like there's Jeffrey would relay through Keenan here that it sounds like the possibility of an open war is actually pretty high. Yeah, and the name, by the way, in case you want, hold on, the name of those elves, the raiding ones, is, here it is.
So the geese.
They're called the Ilkir Warriors.
Yeah.
The Ilkir Warriors.
Because they all ride like what were they riding again?
They're like antelope.
Yeah, I'm gonna call them the horny elves.
Horny elves. Okay, that's fair.
Like immediate. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you mentioned that a long time ago, that in the southern part of this continent reside many powerful fae. What have there been increased activities? What with the incursion of the Dragon Elves, formation of a Boarman kingdom? What are the fae doing, or are they doing nothing?
So that's actually interesting. You should bring that up. I imagine you might bring this up here, like any mention of fae. And this guy is actually that reminds me. Jeffrey told me this is just a rumor, so we haven't really heard about much about this. Supposedly, one of the reasons that the Ilkir warriors have been more united than normal, because normally they're all over the place in these different groups that just raid caravans on their own, right? And they normally don't leave many people alive, and those they do, they sell as slaves to other groups. This is something you guys would know, is that the elves here, like when I say they raid, they're very like dangerous. They are generally they're basically acting like pirates. They come in they steal all the shit and they'll just kill everyone or enslave people and sell them to other groups. If it's humans, they'll sell them to elves or dwarves. If it's elves, they'll sell them to dwarves or humans, you know, right? So they're normally, they're kind of they'll even raid other elves, right? They are not above that. They're generally kind of just out for their own good. But yeah, so anyways though, so Keenan would tell you, he's like, here's the thing, Jeffrey heard this rumor, and it's just a rumor, but supposedly one of the reasons they've been more united in their cause is because they got a fae leading them, or at least helping them.
Interesting.
Supposedly she even looks like a pronghorn. She's got horns and everything.
She's all horned up.
She's horny.
On Tuesday.
No, but
where is Jeffrey currently at? And did he bring like the major like kind of like man force that like? Because I know everyone had to leave Pune. I assume that we've established a new headquarters temporarily somewhere.
yeah, he would tell you. He'd be like, "Oh yeah, they're still in the Boarman capital. The Boarman been taking real good care of us.
Oh,
So if we head back there, we could join up with them real easy."
that sounds great. Because I think that's where we are heading next.
Yeah, a couple other people who got split off in Pune even made it there somehow. Heard about it.
Yeah, because I think the PowerPoint presentation of what's gonna happen is I think we're gonna stop by Kerbach and show him Hilda's head like ha lol loser,
Yeah.
and then after
Potential
that,
movie problem.
Oh,
No, I have an idea for that.
so well.
continue with your PowerPoint.
Technically,
So,
we
yeah,
are with
so-
them right now, though.
So boss, here's the thing though. That's not even all. We heard about Aya.
Yeah.
We heard about Aya. Someone saw him, or they think they saw him.
Should have left the video.
On your boat, he was like, he knows how to run boats, right?
yes,
Yeah. So apparently he was the helmsman of a boat. Someone saw him in Falayan. Or they think they saw him. They saw someone that looked like him, but
at this point I'd be grabbing the guy by the collar. How sure are you?
it's not all good though, because he was still in chains.
Of course he was.
When I'm saying when I say he's a helmsman, supposedly the guy who saw him, one of our informants, he was still looks like a slave, but he's running one of the ships for the Dragon Elves now.
I'm an inside man.
I think a flying castle beats a boat.
He's like it was, unfortunately it was the personal ship of a high priest of the Dragon Elves.
I don't give a fuck. We're getting our best friend back.
Yeah, I've got a shield of the scale. I was a member of the order once. So
He
maybe
he looks over at your shield and he's like, oh shit.
No,
and he's like,
he's not here. It's me and him.
hands on your head. No.
oh, okay. No, okay. I thought you were saying you were there. And, yeah,
Bro, I just got a roll 20 ad on a YouTube video for the background music. It's kind of scary.
That's funny.
Nice.
But so he he's like he would be like yeah, no, there's a bunch of the priests and the whole like order of the dragon. They've all been, well, I don't know. From what I've heard, the rumors are that in the Dragon Elves capital, the emperor there supposedly has less power every day, and more of that is going to the priests and everything.
This is an Imperium moment. All right.
Yeah, so he's like, yeah. So one of these high priests, like supposedly like one of the very high ranking ones, has got Aya, and is basically Aya's one of his personal slaves. And I know what you think. We should just go in there, but you don't understand. They said there was a whole fleet of these ships there. It's not going to be that easy. But that brings me to the last thing, which is, I know Aya's going to be the most pressing thing on your mind, boss, right? And we have that other political conflict to worry about with the Dragon Elves. Jeffrey knew that we would need some more power to be able to try really put up a fight. So he also sent people out listening, keeping their ears to the ground for rumors about artifacts, items, you know, things that could really change the flow of a war or battle. And he's got a few. And here, I'm just going to basically say them out of character now so we can go through quicker. So, he would actually tell you about 3 different artifacts that he heard about that are pretty famous, that are like known across most of the continent, even if it's just in rumors. The first is called the Axe of the Giants. And apparently it is an axe that was forged for the giants way back in the day by the dwarves. But then the dwarves ended up keeping it for themselves. And it's this like kind of legendary axe that apparently is not only is it like an incredibly powerful like just weapon, it apparently also like has the power to kind of compel people to do things. It is a symbol of power, literally, too. Right? Especially among like giant worshippers and dwarves and stuff. So if you had this, you could potentially get dwarves to follow you, even if you're not a dwarf, right? Stuff like that. And the rumor about this one, unfortunately, he would tell you this one first because it's the least relevant right now, because supposedly it's in one of the dwarven keeps way to the west. Okay. So he's like, that's far away, but just to know, in case you wanted to go for that. That's something that we know exists. We know the dwarves have it. The second is actually way back over like here, or it's in one of these mountain ranges here. And he's like, this one, apparently there's a devil, a greater devil, a fiend, that's made their home in an old dwarven keep. And they can't go back to hell because no one can leave this place, right? And so they've amassed armies of other creatures, goblins, ogres, other things. And supposedly they have this helm that grants them all their power. An insane amount of magical power, apparently. That one, we also don't know much about, except that any group of dwarves who have gone there to try and reclaim their land have failed. And other groups of adventurers have gone too. So supposedly that's one where that's also might be an issue trying to get to. But, you know, in case you're interested. The last one, boss, I think this one might really interest you. Let me tell you why. We found out there's this thing called the Dragon's Crest. The Dragon's Crest. It's a shield. It's like that one. And no, Duncan's shield is not in here. It would be with Duncan. It would be with Adau.
We're gonna lock them together.
He might say, maybe he saw it on the way in. He'd be like, it's like that one that dude had. Because he wouldn't really know Adau. but it's like...
He would recognize Adau.
Yeah.
Important person.
He's like, listen, this... Supposedly all those shields, like the one that he has, are based off of this one. This is the original. It's a crazy artifact. But here's the thing, boss. Here's the thing. Here's why I think this one's going to interest you. Apparently, this thing is worshipped by the lizard folk. And if you got this, some of them might even turn against the dragon elves. Because, well, the lizard folk and the dragon elves, they worship the dragons, including the great purple dragon. The one they look up to as their god, basically.
God. Yeah.
But if you hold this shield, it's apparently almost as good as being a prophet.
Huh.
He's like, this thing could really turn the tide if we're going south.
Who's that? Yeah.
Who has it?
Yeah,
Where is it?
I would grab this guy. I would just big old bear hug. Like, you've done so well. Like,
He's like, yeah, he'd be like, he'd be like, I just brought the info. Jeffrey was the one who's been running this whole thing.
brother, you walked into a fucking Boarman camp to bring this to me. That's gotta be the
Yeah, that
scariest
alone.
shit in the world.
Yeah, he nods and he's like, the only downside, but let me, as they're like hugging him, he's like, by the way, the only downside about that last one though, that shield, is who has it. And he kind of grimaces.
And I hold him out. Like, who?
Supposedly, it's the last black dragon that exists in these lands.
The what dragon?
A black dragon. They call her Casaria, apparently. And she's been slumbering for off and on for hundreds of years.
Quick aside, is he one of the few crewmates I managed to eke out of the slave camp, or is he someone I acquired along
Yeah,
the way?
we'll say he's one of the crew members who's been with you from the start. Yeah. Or actually, yeah, we'll say
No,
Jeffrey
that's
is
what-
and
Yeah.
and this guy too.
That just makes sense as to why he'd be such in a commanding position.
But yeah, so he's like yeah, no, supposedly the last black dragon that's ever been seen in this continent, she exists down in the swamps to the south. And he would point to a map, basically in one of the swamp areas around here.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, I'd be like, Keenan, you know the hell we went through in those slave camps, in chains. We need to save our brothers from whatever fresh hell they've been living through while I've been dicking around up here, basically. Trying to get them back.
He nods. Yeah, he nods.
We have a flying castle. We have 30 people. All I have to do is just convince these other two jokers to help us out, and
Busy. Heard the chat.
Yeah, and he's like, yeah, that he's like, got it. He's like, well, I'm here with you, boss. I'll help out with the castle, and then when we meet up with Jeffrey, he can fill you in on the rest.
and Jeffrey was in Playa, correct?
No, so Jeffrey's with Kurbach.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Jeffrey's with the rest of your spy network, or like your, not your spy network, but like your followers in Kurbach City.
Kurbach City.
Yeah.
So
I like that that's what it's actually called.
It is actually called that. It's literally just called the Great City of Kurbach, right? So.
all right, so we've had our
The city of Kurbach and Kurbach City are different.
Yeah.
It's like the city of
Like
London.
powers. Yeah, they don't have powers to them.
Yeah.
All right.
So what'll happen here?
Well, I'm bookkeeping.
is,
I'm actually not going to say anything.
So I'm gonna we're gonna leave the room.
Okay.
I'm gonna shout to somebody like, get this man a hot meal, a bath, and some place to be. And then I'm gonna round up with Helios and Adau, and we're gonna have a little powwow about what I want to have happen.
Okay. Yeah. Are you gonna, if you're just gonna fill them all in on kind of all these different things, then we could just say that you do that, or are you gonna
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
no.
Well, we can say we've been filled in, and then we can determine what we're going to do.
Yeah.
This is information you want to withhold.
There was some stuff I wanted to withhold.
Okay.
I want to withhold that I'm maybe bringing us into a battle with a freaking black dragon.
Okay. So you don't mention that part. Okay.
All right.
But I'm gonna tell him all the world lore stuff we learned. But basically, I'm letting them know this is we're going to go meet my lieutenant. And if you're not on board, either I'm gonna buy you out, or
Yeah, that man.
I figured you'd be in.
We're on that way anyway.
You want a cool story to tell, and that's understandable.
Yeah. trained my whole life for this moment.
But
Several moments.
this is what we are doing, and you're either on the castle or you're not.
Oh, you're saying this to us, not the.
Yeah, I'm saying it to you two.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I foresee some conflict here, because that's not. You don't have the key or the crystal, but.
I do. I'm in.
Yeah, I mean, that isn't to say that I wouldn't have been in anyway, but the fact that you put it that way kind of makes me not want to do it.
Wait.
I've done so much to keep your ass alive. You're not with me on this?
I mean, yeah, but that's, you know, the
All right,
dice,
let's
that's
go.
kind of the dice's
We're
fault.
good, we're good, we're good, we're good. Let's go. Yay! To Kermok we go.
Okay. Yeah, well, I mean,
so excited
the other thing is, you know, you're gonna go to Kurbok, so you can always discuss more once you reach there.
Yeah.
So we're going that way anyway.
Okay.
More than enough room to push each other off the castle.
I mean, here's what I can do. Can I give like a rousing speech for my tragic backstory?
I mean, what you can do, you can
gotta
roll.
performance.
You
though.
can roll a performance or persuasion check, but in the end, it's up to Duncan how Adau would respond to it, right?
Fair.
Just like
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
so,
I mean, I did withheld the dragon stuff, but these guys don't know anything about like what I've really gone through to get to here.
okay, so you're gonna kind of share that, and then
Yeah, I'm gonna open up a little bit
okay,
and try to be.
yeah. Well, so I actually want to hear this because I don't think they actually do know, like out of character. So what is what you know? You don't have to tell it in character if you don't want, but what is the type of stuff you would share with them specifically?
I'd give them the whole lowdown.
Okay.
I mean, I would tell them, you know, I was the son of a wealthy merchant. My best friend growing up was one of our slaves, and one day, one of our slaves had to be punished to like satisfy another merchant we were trading with, and that's when I was like, "Frick you, Dad! I'm not gonna stand for this." And then I sailed around the seas for about 7 years. Just being a cool ass pirate and freeing slaves and, you know, not letting other people be treated like my best friend was treated. And right now, and then I would share like how I came over and what happened. Like our pirate fleet hit the wall because we were looking for my best friend's sister who had been traded away. And we came here, we were enslaved. I managed to get out with a few of my guys from my crew, but I had to leave my best friend behind. And all I've been doing since I got here, since I got free, was trying to build a force strong enough to go in and save my best friend. Please, I would love it if you guys would help me on this. I know I'm being a little overeager, and I'm really like, but this is all I have. This is the only family I have. I had to eschew my family to make this man, like, live a human being's life. And I can't stand by and let him not be free.
Yeah,
I need to help him.
And you specifically say that's the friend that's been seen in Falayan. That's who we're talking about, his first mate.
okay, what was his name? Aya?
Aya, yeah.
Yeah.
How do you did I spell that how I think it's spelled?
Just AYA.
Yep.
Alright, that's what I thought.
But yeah, no, so
We help our people. Let's fuck them up.
okay. So
Not
Talvo,
just-
Talvo does a good speech with this. It's up to you whether or not it works and to persuade you, because you guys are player characters. But it's certainly he says it in a well worded way. So
Well, unfortunately, the DC was 40. No.
I have plot armor on.
yeah.
Yeah. So my qualm was never that we're going to do this, because obviously I want to do this. It was the preparations we make beforehand, because it sounds like what you told us about these two items that could potentially get two entire civilizations on our side. I think we should utilize those to dismantle the entire structure. You know, like just free them all. You know, of course we can go and stealthily free your friend if we'd like to do that first. But then we just fucking tear it all down with armies.
No way out, yeah.
Here's
That
what we
was
can do.
kind of what I was thinking.
Here's what we can do. We can do a little bit more consolidation of power. I am a little impatient, to be real. But, I mean, if he's the helmsman on a ship, I can send him a raven and let him know, at the very least, we are on the way. Just a little, hope conquers
Hope to
everything.
hold on, yeah.
Yeah. Let him know that
Valiant difficult.
there is light at the end of the tunnel. We are coming. Just hang on for just a little.
Do we have a spell that can do that? Do you have like Helios? Do you have sending maybe, so we could talk to him
Sending.
without letting anyone see that a slave got a raven?
Yeah, hold on.
Do you have something, Helios?
I do.
You do.
Message
Okay.
when visits the creature is familiar. The creature hears messages.
With which he is familiar, though. Just
Yeah.
me giving.
Oh, I
But if you
know.
were with him, I think that.
It doesn't
Know
have to
who he is
be.
now.
Yeah, it doesn't. You don't necessarily have to actually know them personally. If you are familiar with who they
is
are,
just like
Yeah, if you know,
I know who
it's
they are.
my party member's best
kinda
friend
broken,
who's been
man.
on a ship in Falion. That's like pretty narrowed down.
I mean,
The spell's like, I know that guy.
We could have been shit posting to fucking Hilda.
The Hilda the whole time.
yeah, wait a minute, fuck. damn it. Okay,
actually
well,
true.
We're
Yeah.
coming, bitch. Your days are numbered.
we can fuck with Gorn.
Yeah, we can say, hey Gorn, we're coming for you. We
You,
killed your
you
girlfriend."
could, yeah, you could do that. The problem
Just
is that
one word.
the problem is
He
that
knows who it
obviously
is.
draws attention to you. Obviously,
Yeah, like if you do that, he immediately knows who you are.
While we're doing something else, it'd be funny.
well,
Yeah.
it's if they don't know who
Get
you are,
fucked
they
up by him
don't.
anyway.
They don't necessarily recognize you unless they already know who you are. So it recognizes you if it knows you. So if it doesn't know you, but you know of them, they just be like, "Who the fuck
So
is
he's
this?"
just like having
Oh,
breakfast.
yeah, you're right, you're right.
He just hears like,
yeah.
Okay, so I
Let's
see
just
what
make him
happened.
think he's going insane. We'll make him think that he's got schizophrenia.
psychic damage. Okay, I
So,
can do.
what I assume is happening here is Helios is like, hey, I can send him a message right now, correct?
Yeah.
So, the message I would have Helios send would be,
Be
Talvo is,
25 words or less.
Talvo is coming, and then like a short, like, thieves' camp that is something that is just between me and him.
Yeah, like a coded message.
Yeah, just a keyword.
There you go.
This is it, coded.
Oh, yeah.
Me said, all right, Jar Jar, baby.
Yeah, no, but okay.
Lisa,
And he
Lisa coming.
so he does actually get to respond. And the thing is, there's nothing that would reveal that he's been sent this message there. So it's a safe thing to do. You would actually get a response. It would be like,
Oh fuck.
no, it'd be like, it would start by saying like, whoever this is, thank you, because he doesn't know who Helios is, right? It would just be like, whoever this is, thank you. Tell Talvo to be careful. I'm fine for now. I think that was like 20 words.
I say that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Talvo would just like grasp you in a hug and just like be in tears. The fact that he got to speak to his best friend in the world.
Get an awkward
Even-
boar hug.
Yeah.
Boar hug.
Yeah, it's not a bear hug, it's a boar hug.
And yeah, and I think that's a good spot. We'll say the camera pulls out through a window, 90s sitcom style. No, and it's and yeah, and we'll say that anything else you guys would want to discuss, you can discuss on the way. But yeah, because I think the plan is now to head to the great city of Kurbak, right?
Yeah.
Indeed.
Yeah, the
Now,
cool
yeah.
axe. Cool axe is a little too close to Gorn for, I think, safety.
Yeah, I
Could
think
go to Satan.
I think we get some of the dwarves of the fake Appalachian mountains, and then use them to like say, hey, you want to reclaim your mountain home, and then we go yeet Satan back to hell.
You
with
dig, you
them.
hole.
Yeah,
Yeah, Diggy Hole, Diggy Hole.
We'll say the Satan's hat. It sounds a lot less cool because the name actually is the helm of the Archdevil. But no, Satan's hat is also, you know.
Calling it Satan's hat.
Yeah, Satan's hat works too, I guess. But we'll say
we have cool axe, Satan's hat, and big lizard. So.
yes, Satan's hat would be somewhere like up in like these mountains here.
Okay.
It's in an old abandoned dwarven keep.
Yeah, but I think the first thing we want to do is go back, report to Kurbak.
Yeah, and Mulu.
Back.
Let's go to Mulu,
Okay.
get payment, and then tell Kurbak that he was trying to betray or kill Locke, and see what he says after we've been paid, of course. This is a good plan for you guys. Do you guys agree with
Kurbak
that?
will like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I mean, as you guys and the Boarman would so let's cover some stuff about like the Flying Castle. Flying Castle is okay, so let's see, on foot on a decent solid like normal road or decently traveled area, you can go about 24 miles in a day. It's, well, let's say, you know, it makes sense if you think about it. Like, if it takes 20 minutes to walk a mile roughly for the average person, right, that's 3 miles an hour. If you go for 8 hours, which is a good bit for a day of walking, right, it's 24. We'll round up to 25 because I think, was each grid 50?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll say,
500 miles.
so to go one tile on the map, as long as it's normal terrain, is 2 days travel. Essentially, so on foot it would have taken like it's 9 hexes, so
It
18.
would take a little over a week, 8 days.
Well, it would take two weeks because it's 9 hexes.
Oh yeah.
So
I'm dumb.
no, it's good.
2 days. 3
so
weeks.
so yeah, a little over 2 weeks on foot, and that's about how long it took you to reach Unudu. Actually, it took you a little longer because there are these mountains and hills in the way, right?
Yeah, we got some business.
Yeah, but but the Flying Castle does not need to worry about getting tired. It doesn't need to worry about going over mountains. I mean, it goes over them, but it goes like in the sky over them, right? So
Does the person flying the castle need to worry about getting tired?
Yeah.
Well,
Oh,
yeah,
so hold on, wait.
I see
We-
it's
I
a
sh-
situation where you can just like tell it.
you
we're going here,
would
and
generally
that way.
still, if you're going through like an area that has mountains and other stuff, unless you could take it way up high, like you can bring the castle above, like into the clouds, right, if you want. It's just going to be
But I mean,
colder and stuff.
Realistically, there's
Yeah.
not really any mountains between us.
No,
and
not any big
Kurbak.
ones. So yeah, it's one of those things where you could leave it to pilot overnight, right?
But it would slam into a mountain if we had it set at that elevation. Like, it doesn't have its own.
Yeah.
It doesn't
Don't
have
touch
any
unexpected.
accident prevention, yeah.
Okay.
If you
All
leave
right,
it while you're
yeah.
sleeping.
So, well, someone's got to be on the watch. Iceberg right ahead. Shit.
Yeah. So
I mean, we talked.
Things
About,
got momentum, so say it early.
we talked about having guards. There are people watching.
Mountain
We
guards.
don't.
yeah.
Look, I was just gonna say we should be above the cloud layer at all times anyway, as not to attract
We're
unwanted
gonna.
attention.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah.
true, we
So
should
generally
Half
you'd be
the
pretty
half
high.
can't see us. They're too short.
But there are, you would still want guards because there are things like packs of griffins that could attack you
Yeah.
guys, stuff like that, right?
Be like, hey, I know that one.
So yeah. so as you guys are
Buddy
going,
Phil's on that.
yeah.
But yeah, how far do you go in a day on with
So
this?
this one, it is like, it's not super fast, to put it in perspective. It's actually slower than you could walk on foot. Like, it is actually slower, but it travels longer every day, so it does go further. It goes 50 miles in a day, as opposed to a person walking 8 hours would go 25. So, yeah, so it is still faster long term, right? It's just that if you were going to race it on foot, you could run short distance faster than it.
I like to think like a Boarman would like let me down, like jumps and like tries to race it as we're doing this traveling.
Yeah, but yeah, so yeah, it is 50 miles a day. So instead of being 18 days to get there, it is going to be 9. So literally half the time.
All right. Is this like a good breaking point?
Yeah.
Or-
Yeah, I was gonna say, let's take a quick little break here. when we get back, we'll take a quick little break. When we get
We'll
back,
have our cool grand entrance to the city of Kerbach with a freaking flying castle.
exactly. Yeah. Yeah. All right. So we'll be back in a few minutes. Bye bye. Yay. Hello. We are back.
Hello there.
Welcome back. So, what was the plan? You guys are heading to Kurbak, right? Kurbak
Yes,
City.
I believe that what we wanted to open on was the very cool idea of this flying castle.
Rising over the mountain.
Hovering
Before that,
oh no.
I'm gonna have Helios do it because he's the pilot. Roll me
Yep.
a D10. Okay, you guys are fine. Your travel passes without incident. No random encounter
I
here.
was just thinking we don't have any.
Yeah. So no random encounter here. You guys are fine. And now we get to that. Yeah, you guys probably coming out of the clouds as you see the city down below.
We were probably like hovering pretty high, and then we descend as we approach.
Yeah, it's a cloudy
Yeah.
day, but there's gaps, and you see the city down below, and you start lowering through the clouds, coming down towards the city. And as you actually get lower, you see like alarm bells and people running around in the city down below because they don't know it's you guys. But as you get closer, you have your Boarman go and like wave a flag, right? So,
Yeah.
so as you get closer, your Boarman will like wave flags of Kurbak, like of the Boarman Empire, just to show them like, hey, we're here, we're Boarman, and that definitely calms them down. As you guys kind of like pass over, I don't know, are you gonna park next to the palace? Like,
So where do we park it?
No, let's hover above the palace to flex on Kurbak and then use the rope to get down.
okay, yeah, you can do
I'm
that.
with them. I'm with
Have a reference for what their city looks like?
Or we can fly down and waste a spell slot on extra flare.
I don't have a reference of this. This area is it's kind of like a hilly area, and it's right on the top of a hill in the center of the city.
I mean, as we were descending, I would be like shouting out, "Thieves can't stop!" to let my people know, like, "Hey, I'm back."
They're not gonna hear. You're way too hot. You're like, it's too noisy.
Yeah, they see you, but you're just like,
There's like literally a couple thousand people like thronging in the streets. They do see you. They would see you. You can even actually do like a little like hand like sign language, basically thieves camp, right? So then we get the message, and you actually see Jeffrey. You see Jeffrey down there. You recognize him, and he gives you like a thumbs up. Like he's like, okay, we'll be ready to go.
you do all this fancy sign language, he just goes,
yeah. And so you.
I mean,
so,
Thieves
yeah.
Camp is a very flexible.
yeah. So you guys will pull up towards the citadel and then kind of float above it, above this big old like castle, right? That is Kurbak's home and base. And then yeah, you guys would descend on like a ladder, or maybe just, I don't know, you could just fly down. But and you'd be greeted by like dozens of guards, like the whole city guard and stuff, and like Kurbak's like royal guard and stuff, who would immediately form like a escort around you guys as to make sure common people aren't going to kind of interfere. But well, actually, this would be like in the inner courtyard where you're basically lowering down into. So there would be mostly like diplomats and bureaucrats kind of looking on in awe, but there's not a lot of commoners who are going to flood in here. But there's you can hear a lot of gossiping and rumors, especially Helios, since you speak Boarman. You hear everyone just gossiping and being like, what is this? What the heck? Like, how the fuck did they do this, right? That sort of thing. And like at one point, like a lieutenant of the guard would come up and be like, Kurbak is ready to meet with you. And you're literally right.
First?
Yeah, you're right here at the entrance to the Grand Hall. So it seems like he was having his normal like time during the day where he meets with people like dignitaries, nobles, petitioners, right? And so you guys will get an escort into the hall, just a short distance. Into the Grand Hall, you walk up the steps and then into a very familiar large hall where you met him the first time. And it seems like he was holding his audience, right? There are in this room tons more nobles, merchants, whoever, right? Who are all just like, a lot of them who peeked outside, saw the castle, like, what the fuck is this? And everything quiets as you guys kind of enter, right? Kurbak is sitting there on his throne. And leaning up next to his throne is like his massive, like a massive greatsword that he had actually used last time, short, like as a bit of a walking stick almost. Yeah, on this massive throne, this 20-foot tall throne, and he's just sitting there like studying you guys. His like shamans and priests, or like whatever his chief advisors are nearby, and Mulu as well. Mulu is also like standing there again. Mulu, 12 feet tall, towering above most Boarman except for Kurbak. Mulu standing off to one side with some of like the shamans and stuff.
Helios, you're the one carrying Hilda's head in your bag of holding, correct?
Yes.
I would kind of just like motion to it, flop it
Dude,
out.
just like whip it out.
Yeah.
It's just
Oh yeah, nice.
it's a celebration.
Just whip it out.
No words.
No,
just,
yeah.
Yeah.
If you do that, if you just like reach in the bag, pull out Hilda's head and show it, right?
Wait.
Yeah, he Kurbak like watches it. Like, do you throw it on the ground or you just hold it up high? What do you do?
Give me 1 second. We're gonna find out.
I would hold it. I would just hold it.
No, I think it's way cooler to pull it out, look at it, and just.
All right.
Okay.
I'm just.
That's like a disrespectful thing to do because they have to clean it up, you know.
So that's the thing, though. Is like, so that's what Adau was kind of used.
Boarman culture out of character.
Well, yeah. So this is the thing, right? Adau, he would find that kind of maybe disrespectful. Helios, from being in the Boarman court long enough, this is fine. So that it's totally. In fact, the Boarman like such displays. So
Okay.
So you would know. Yeah, so because you're a Boarman, you know this, and so you toss the head. It rolls a little bit of like blood or whatever, because a lot of the blood would be dried at this point, but like other stuff just kind of splattering out.
What about the wolf?
How about now?
And the wolf head, yeah, and then the wolf head too. Most people, when you do Hilda, like, because they realize who it is, and the wolf, they're like, huh? Like, none of them know who that is.
Probably knows.
The wolf is not really like that important, but Kurbak just watches, and then there's like silence. Everyone in the room like looks up at Kurbak, and he looks around. He's like, what are you waiting for? Give them applause. And and like all the nobles and merchants and shamans and like servants or whoever, scribes, all just like all like, woo, like clapping, like literally giving you guys a round of applause. And like the Boarmen in the room give a chant, like a Boarman cry, like Boarman war cry. There we go.
Warman.
Mm-hmm. And so so Kurbak just stands up again, using this big old greatsword as like a cane almost, or not even a cane, because he's in good physical condition, but just using it to like hoist himself up, and then just standing there with it. I mean, this greatsword is like 15 feet tall. It is like 3 Talvos high, basically. But so he's just holding it, and and he looks down, and he's like, "You all will be celebrated in our halls as the greatest our kind could even come forward with. Some of the greatest warriors of our civilization."
Talvo will actually walk up and kneel and say, "I've heard you took care of my people while I was gone, and I have nothing to say other than just genuine appreciation for taking care of them. Thank you so fucking much."
He just nods, and he looks at you, kind of studies you all, and he's like, "We have many things to discuss in private, but first, what of my daughter?"
Your daughter has taken control of the wellspring. We helped, but she did so much of the work.
Oh yes. I suppose I would have walked up alongside Talvo and knelt, but I would not. I guess I don't have the backstory there to. But anyway, and I imagine Helios has done the same. So we're all close up.
I don't know if I would in context of like Boarman culture.
Do Boarman kneel? Boarman kneel to their god emperor,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, they would.
I think we would. Yeah, I would have. Yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, so she said she sent us back to assure you that her actions are in line with your stated goal. Like she made it seem as though you've discussed this before, and she wanted us to say that nothing she's doing is running counter to your rule or the expansion of your civilization.
He kind of pauses.
No quarrel.
She has made it very clear that she wants the co-rule, not overtake you.
She could have killed us instead of telling us.
He kind of like looks. He like pauses. He's like, "Why would she specify such things? Is there some reason for concern?"
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah. So
your son told us to kill her.
Oh God.
Yeah.
When Talvo says this, there's a hush comes over the room, and Kurbak like looks over at Mulu. Mulu's kind of like slinks away a little bit. Not actually didn't leave, but he like kind of backs up a few steps. And Mulu looks over and he is furious. You can tell Mulu is absolutely fucking livid looking at you guys. This 12 foot tall Boarman. And Kurbak like kind of grips the sword tighter. And he looks at you and he's like, you mean this, Talvo?
Chief, 100% man.
I'm gonna stay out of this one. I'm a be real with you.
And in an instant, you hear the pounding of Boarman hooves, and you like look over because you're like, wait a minute, is Mulu charging us in his rage? But no, it's actually Kurbak, quick as lightning. You guys barely even see what he's doing. For someone who is 20 feet tall, you barely have a chance to react before he's running, charging. And for him, it's like 3 steps. A whiz of the blade, a massive blade swinging through the air. And you see Mulu's head hit the ground and then roll a couple times.
Damn.
What is next to Hilda's?
And yeah, it rolls into the middle of the floor next to Hilda's.
A suspicion already.
Yeah, you must have known.
See?
And then Mulu's body just collapses, and the Boarman and everyone else there was like, what the fuck? Like they just do not know how to react. And you guys like
panic kneel.
You guys are like, oh shit. And then he just kind of like he flicks the blade, blood splatters on the wall. He doesn't care. He walks back over, just takes a couple pounding steps back over to you, puts the sword leans it against the throne, sits down again, and is like, the rats have been dealt with then.
We were joking that we just made that up. No.
But he's like,
right now, but clearly you knew. This, like we are not the reason that you did that. You already knew there was something going on.
I suspected that Mulu was not content being the runt, but a runt he was, and he proved it in the end. He was never fit to rule, let alone carry on my bloodline.
Damn. Out of character, how many more children does Kurbak have, or is it just those?
He
2?
had 3. His oldest son died because Hilda killed him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Locke is the second. This was the 3rd, so he just killed his only other son. Locke is the only one now.
Youngest?
Mm-hmm.
Well, all right.
Well, he did try to betray him.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
He was trying to he was trying to be like I guess it's primogeniture, and he was trying to get rid of Locke so he'd be up next. I imagine.
Yeah.
I think Talvo would explain, listen, he sent us to kill her, but when we went and told her that, she was very much like, I'm not competing with my father. I want to show him the same level of accomplishment.
He kind of holds up a claw, basically and then he's like, you need not explain yourself. You are heroes here, and your word is as good as Locke's.
We appreciate that level of trust.
Yes.
He nods.
I'm panic kneeling at the same time.
Yeah, but he nods, and he's like, he would motion for some people come and drag Mulu's body away. And other than that, he's like, he like looks around at the rest of you and he's like, "This audience is over. Leave." And but then not to you guys. He motions for you.
But,
He's like, "You stay."
The hall would clear.
Yeah, and so this whole great hall will clear as people like just shuffle out. No one is like even like, there's been a couple whispers, but no one has really even said anything since Mulu just got his head chopped off. And so people are like, okay, I'm happy to be out of here today. This is not a but yeah. So and so everyone leaves, and after a few minutes of everyone filtering out, and there would be a few guards in here left, but then the door would close, and he would just look at you all and be like, "I mean it when I say you all are heroes here, and for days we will have celebrations here, and you're welcome to stay, but I suspect you also have your own plans."
Well, at least one night for food.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, enjoy some fine Boarman cuisine.
I would like to ask a favor of Kerbach.
Mm-hmm. He nods.
Could you give me an assembly of Boarmen to help save Aya?
Who is Aya?
Aya, backstory.
Are you serious?
I pull out a bag.
Yeah,
I pull out a bag of tissues from the holding. Like, all right.
Yeah. Let's you explain him.
Yeah.
I wouldn't go for an emotional appeal. I would just say, this is my goal. Will you give me people to help me with it?
Oh, we'll be killing dragon elves.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know,
This is one of your territorial opponents.
Yeah,
It's
when
in
you
your
when you
interest to help me.
when you explain that you're going to be heading towards Falayon, because I'm assuming you'll explain that, right? Like that's your goal right now.
yes. Our
He
destiny.
would nod, and he's like,
Maybe the hat, but
yeah, he would nod, and he'd be like, I can send some, and more than that, I can equip your castle that I saw flying in. I can
you want to
help.
come check it out?
He's
Yeah, I would like to invite Kerbach up to see the castle.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, that's actually a good idea.
Yeah,
Would you like
it's
to come see the spoils?
it's funny because it's made for giants. He's actually bigger than like 95% of giants,
Yeah,
even.
he's like
so he actually can't even fit up there.
crouching.
But he can go in the courtyard or just like look at it from. If you bring it down close to the ground, he can just look in over the top like a. Like, ooh.
Turn it sideways.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, no. So but you know he's like we'll save that for the celebrations, right? But he does when you ask about this, he's like I can send some, but more than this, I do apologize for this. He picks up the great sword. No, I'm just kidding. No, he's like I do apologize for this, but I have had my own men listening to yours. Not that I don't trust them. I simply want to make sure that my guests in my palace aren't plotting against me, as my son was apparently.
I'm more than fair.
Yeah, so he's like, I do apologize again. I had no ill intentions, and they were treated like royalty here. But I did overhear some of the informants that your man Jeffrey brought in, and I heard of some of the information they gathered. It might interest you to know. I know that they brought you rumors of the Black Dragon, Kasari. Kasaria. And yeah, this is the first time Helios or Adau have heard of it. He's like, I know that you were told of. I know that you were told of the Black Dragon Kasaria, who holds the dragon crest. The funny thing is, like, like before he said that part, it's like not even possible you guys would put it together. But Talvo definitely told you about the dragon crest. He's like, oh yeah, there's this artifact down there, and he left out the dragon part. And now Kurbak is like,
sense. That makes more sense now.
I don't know. Does I'm curious. Do Helios or Adau, do they give any dirty looks to Talvo or anything?
Like initially a dirty look, but then also like a fuck yeah, like you know what? But eventually be like a...
That's funny. So Helios is like, what? We're doing what? We're doing what?
He'd be like, well, why wouldn't you tell me this?
Yeah.
What about Adau? Is he?
Twice as fast.
I'm calculating. My mind is computing right now.
Let's actually. This is actually a good time. Let's have so Talvo would have never heard of this dragon before. This dragon has been around long enough in like legends of this region. I want Helios and Adau both to roll me history checks. The DC will be a little higher for Adau. You actually still clear it though. Yeah, you both clear it. So you actually both.
The one.
When you actually, so it's funny. You actually have heard of this dragon before. You just never knew that the dragon actually also held. You never heard the part about it also holding this crest, this shield, right?
Yeah.
But now it clicks into place. You're like, oh, of course, it's this fucking legendary dragon that like.
Of course.
Right. So.
Okay.
So I don't know if Adau. When there's surprise from Helios, then Kurbak is like, did you not tell them of this, Talvo?
We were selective in the facts we shared.
That's an interesting way to put it.
Yeah. All right. We'll come back to that.
So
Yeah. We'll have an intervention later.
So he then like he's like it doesn't matter. That's between you all. I heard that this information reached you, and I know this probably interests you. And here's the thing, this is where I can't provide you a whole army right now. I apologize for that. But taking out a dragon that is somewhat near my realm, that is something I could support. In fact, and he actually motions, there were still a couple people in here that he left in here, and one of them is actually a shaman. And the shaman comes forward, and the shaman, you actually notice this shaman has not really been doing anything, but they actually have like it's like, you ever
Dragon
see
defeating sword?
No, you ever see like pole vaulters, like the big bags they have all their poles in? Mm-hmm. Like something like that.
A golf club.
Yeah, like a golf club case, except bigger.
Yeah.
They have like a case like this on their back, and they pull it off their back and then hold it. And Kurbak is like, he basically says, I in the past have made preparations in case such a dragon, this one or any other, would come here and attack my realm. I knew it was a possibility, even though there exist scant few great dragons in these lands. Well, power attracts other power, and I knew there was a chance that one might eventually come here. And for this reason, I had these made. And so the person actually unveils what is in this little case, right? And or like it was just wrapped up basically, and you see 3 spears. Except you realize, wait a minute, they're not spears, they're literally just Kurbak-sized arrows. He literally, like, they are literally a spear for you guys. But, like, if you've ever played Dark Souls in the DLC, like a giant fucking bow, like a 20-foot bow, could use these as arrows. But they're basically like long spears for you guys, and could be thrown as such. And on the end of them, you actually see coated a similar thing to what was coating the arrow of giant slaying.
Of whatever their name is, Sicily slaying. Tira? I don't know.
But
So,
he's
okay.
but yeah. So
What? Go ahead.
no, you're good.
I was gonna ask what specific type of weapon they are.
Well, so yeah, so he would kind of elaborate. He would say,
Yeah.
I had these arrows made long ago, again, in case of an attack by a dragon. They're arrows of dragon slaying. They'll work on any dragon, or even lesser dragon, drakes, even wyverns.
Bro.
But for you all, they could function as spears, or perhaps I did see you have a ballista on your tower.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the ballistas. Good idea.
Oh yeah, our flying castle.
Yeah, he's like such a thing could easily launch this at a dragon, and Casaria is a powerful dragon, but with a flying castle, and you all, it could be possible to take her down.
Again, I would kneel and be like, "Can I pay you to make, like human-sized arrows?"
These arrows, or spears as they might be to you all, are one of a kind. And he would basically explain in gaming terms that he would basically give you the so in game terms, these are not only are these arrows of slaying, they are also +3 ammunition, or like if you use them as a spear until they hit, then the magic is gone, right? Until the slaying effect is activated, then they become normal spears, unfortunately. But like basically just to like he had like he actually doesn't get into the details of how they're enchanted. You get the idea there may have been sacrifices involved to get that much actual like literal magical essence, but war is unethical. So these are +3 arrows of dragon slaying, except they're really spears of dragon slaying, right? And so he would say like he can't just go out and make more of these right now.
Okay.
It would take time to get his shamans assembled from different places where they're at currently. He would need a circle of shamans or mages, right?
Yeah.
And then so you would say like this is what I can give you as far as help with the dragon if you intend to go for it. Because I know as soon as I heard that this information would reach you, I knew it would tempt you. And but I am also willing to send with you one of my shamans as well. And the shaman who was carrying the things, they wave. They're like, hey. And their name, he would say their name is, hold on. Their name, oh yeah, I did a random name generator and then I was like, oh, I love this name. It's Shot, which looks like Shat. So hey, you should be culturally respectful of the Boarman, okay? This is a respectable name in the Boarman.
Listen.
So
okay,
Shat or Shot.
I would get it. Share a laugh.
So Shot is he's not like one of their chief shamans, but he's a pretty skilled shaman. He's like if you had to give him a level, he's about your guys' level, right? So and he's not going to be sorry.
Very, very unrelated. What happened to Groot?
To who?
Jeff or Josh?
Yeah, our little
like a
street friend.
He like.
Oh, you never saw him again.
Disappeared. Yeah. Then we buried his parents out of respect.
You never saw him though.
Over the wellspring. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll come back. He's actually Goran.
Yeah, but so anyways, so Shart the Boarman. No, he's with you guys. If you want him, he's not going to be an active participant in battles, but he can do stuff like give you blessings before battles, or he can do stuff like cast. He can like cast fly on you guys, like those other shamans did, stuff like that to help you.
I thought you were gonna say fireball.
No, you can't do that. Let me change the music. Listen, this is the break music.
I have Seaside Town on right now. If it fits.
But yeah, so he can help you guys out with some stuff.
Pocket healer.
Yeah, well, he's not gonna be like again. He's not gonna help out in every battle necessarily, but he can do some stuff between battles and outside of combat, especially. So yeah.
I made it here if you guys want to add it to your thing.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know how to like give it to you.
I don't think there's a way to actually.
Oh. Well, okay.
But for now, you know, if we need to, depending on who's even going to use it later.
Yeah,
we
we'll
don't-
just
we
be
don't
like,
need it
hey,
now.
use this for me.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So anyway, so he, Kurbak would give you. He would basically say this shaman shot will work with you as long as really you are pressing forward with these plans. And these arrows are yours to use. And additionally, and then he would motion forward, and another like servant or guard would come forward, and they're carrying like a big chest, or it's actually not that big of a chest, but he's got like, and he like puts it on the ground, and you hear like jingling of coin.
First of all, Duncan, you are like our literal accountant, so we can just add those to our party inventory for us.
Okay, yeah. I got you.
Mm-hmm.
You
So-
just walk over and you're like, oh god, give him the account.
Yeah, so when you look at like, so you go and open the chest, there are, you wouldn't count them all here. There's 5,000 gold coins.
Okay.
Yeah. 5,000 gold coins flat.
Now you got it.
I think that would
Damn.
also just go into the party inventory, please.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, wait. So what do you want to go in the party inventory?
5,000 gold coins.
Yeah, you can just stow this. You literally just take the chest, stow it.
Put it
Pear
under
Stow
the
it.
keep.
Yeah, so in the keep, you could put it in the room with the crystal that makes the whole thing fly, right? Because that's like that's the most secure place. So it's like a vault.
Yeah.
So
So hold on, wait, Talvo, you wanted a 5,000 additional GP that you have?
No, 5,000.
Just all of it to
Like a-
so you're
like a
just saying
part-
put it in there.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
it's in the budget.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
Do you guys want to add any of like anything that you have
quarterly-
to this? So that like
You know
I don't
what?
know what you would add, but
I will give you a flat just 5,000 or 1,000, so I don't have to carry this.
That's a damn.
yeah. Again, stuff you put here is stuff that is in savings, basically, right? And
Yeah.
you could
Yeah, this
use
is
it for whatever the group wants to use for.
I assume after my emotional trauma dump, we've all bonded.
yeah.
Yeah. And yeah,
Yeah, you
at
guys
this
heard
point,
my backstory, so
at this point, you guys have also been traveling together. In fact, I need to mark this on my calendar before I forget.
yeah, we're like several months.
Yeah, it's been a couple months now. So,
Yeah.
let me mark this on my
We did
calendar.
fuck around a lot before.
So that was the
That's
fight
true. Yeah,
there. So
Okay,
then that
I'm
would
also
have been.
gonna,
Have a horde.
I'm gonna add weapons and stuff. So like
This would be fight with Hilda would be on this day, and then it was a few days later when you took the castle. Castle taken. Then it was a couple days later when you left. Then it was a week, so it would have been this day. I'm just marking this on my calendar. Yeah, arrival at Kurbak. Okay. Yeah, you guys have been together now for about. Oh, wait, what the fuck? Oh, god damn it! I did this in the wrong.
Come on, man.
Did this in the wrong spot. Hold on. There we are. Okay. I got that marked in my notes. Yeah, you guys have been together about like 2 months now. So, yeah. Okay.
cool and swag.
What?
Cool and swag.
Yeah. So he would give you all this gold, and he would tell you, by the way, like he would actually also give you like imperial seals, not the thing that stamps the seals, but like he would give you like wax wax seals on letters to show that you are, his personal guests. Basically to tell you like before you guys leave the city, if you go down into any market, you will get the best deal possible, right? The merchants are literally going to give you stuff for free, but they will give you the best possible deal without losing money, without losing any profit. So, so if you want to just like look for
All it
items,
took was several.
yeah. But so this is a good time now. That's basically all he had to say. He would just say like he basically say like I wish you luck, and he's like if you, what he would say to Talvo, he's like I can't just give you an army right now, or even an expeditionary force, unless I know that there is a weakness to strike. But if you can make a weakness, or find one already there, a weak point where the Boarman could expand their influence, if you could find an opportunity like that, then I could put some of my men on the table.
I think Talbot's response would be like, if I gave him again, I've done this like 3 times, just like a thieves' camp.
Yeah.
Key phrase. Yeah. Like if I find that opportunity, I will tell it to you, and then this will be the code.
Have the brain magic. I can tell him the word.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yep.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, he'll.
That was a sentence.
Well, plus sending is also one where, again, since he knows you, Helios, he would know it's you when you send it. There's no way to like trick anyone with that. So. All right. So yeah, he would nod and yeah, he would basically say just like good luck, and yeah, you guys would.
I would. Talvo would attempt to give him like a merchant's handshake. Like, this is our deal.
He would like reach out. He would be very careful not to crush your hand.
Strength check.
Yeah, he'd be very careful not to crush your hand, but he would shake your hand.
Okay.
But he's like, as you guys are leaving, like as you're turning to leave, he's like, oh, and in the future, if another of my most trusted subjects wishes to conspire against me or my kin, please let me know right away.
Or yes, indeed.
We saw. Yeah, don't worry.
We absolutely will.
Yeah.
So I just remember what Xylo said. You just basically shake one of his fingers like a baby.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So yeah, and yeah, so then you guys would go, and there would be a massive feast thrown, right? They would, unless you guys wanted to keep Hilda's head, they're gonna put it on a pike and like parade it around the city.
I'm good.
Yeah, we're good.
Sure.
And the wolf behind it. The wolf will be right behind too. You know.
So like someone dancing.
Yeah. So and yeah, there will be like feasts thrown. It's gonna be a couple day ordeal, but you guys don't have to stay for that time.
That word was going somewhere else.
Yeah. But yeah, so as you guys stay here though, you will have a couple days of feasting and celebration. You could stay for all of it. You could stay for some of it. You could just shop for stuff and leave. You know.
I had time to shop. Let's go shopping.
Money. Shopping.
Yes.
Can we buy,
So,
where
all right.
are like cool spells and shit?
All right, you guys shop.
What's something better than locate animal?
I mean, you can just literally look at Bard's spell list if you want. Like, just look up 5th edition.
Wait, what was the we fucked up? Divination or something? We wanted to use. We messed it up.
Which one?
I remember, there was a spell that we had a scroll for it, and we asked it the wrong thing or something.
Oh yeah, that was I think that was divination, but there's also a few like that. There's also what's the other one? Well, so here you can. I'll put this in the group chat. There's Bard spells, and then I don't know. You probably have the list of Cleric spells up, Duncan. If you want to look at that, because you'd definitely be able to find spell scrolls.
Yeah.
Can I find a power word kill spell? No.
No, you can't fit. Like within reason, you'd probably be able to find stuff up to your max level spell slot, but that's about it.
I can't use dominate monster on the dragon.
You might be able to.
No, I'm just fucking around.
Oh, okay, yeah. Then probably you would not be able to find that now.
Oh my god, there's some nasty spells.
Okay, gotta open up. Yeah, so
irresistible dance.
Yeah. So what's your highest level spell then, Helios?
4.
4. Okay. So
Because I forget what level you start getting 5th.
Yeah, I think it's 4th right now though. So like if you go look at 4th level spells for bards, you can look at like those are the ones that would be the most powerful ones you have access to that you could find here. Like you could get, for instance, you could get like do you have Dimension Door? I don't remember if you have Dimension Door.
Yes, yeah. What we did is I took off I forget which spell it was, but we took 1 off, and then I have 3 4-level spells, but I can only use 2 of them in one.
That's right.
combat.
Okay. Yeah. But you could
I
do
have
stuff
both
like you could actually get something like Greater Invisibility, a scroll of Greater Invisibility. So Greater Invisibility is the one that makes you invisible, where you can also attack and cast spells, and it doesn't make you visible again.
Ooh, how many of those can I buy?
You'd probably be able to find like maybe 2 of those, and they would be. Hold on. Let me find you the price there. They would be. They're gonna be pretty expensive. 400 gold each.
Each. Oh god.
And they only last a minute, mind you. Unlike normal invisibility, which lasts like an hour. But the idea is if you
shopping, I'm gonna.
Yeah. The idea is if you did this before entering combat, you would be invisible as long as you keep concentration up.
Combat.
Right? You could just keep slashing enemies with advantage every time. They wouldn't know where you are, and yeah, so.
Also, I mean, while they're shopping, I would like to have a tearful reunion with Jeff.
Yeah, no, yeah, they will, you'll be able to reunite with him and the rest of your kind of crew. And there would be, it'd be a super, it'd be very, very nice. They would...
We would enjoy the peace and have a good old time, and people would like me in real life. And,
and Jeffrey would, he would kind of fill you in on the other stuff, like, just fill you in on, like, the rest of those plot threads, but it's basically what I already told you. Just,
Yeah.
So,
The motivational speech spell? That's so funny.
So, but yeah, so
Intellect Fortress.
So at this point, so you guys would have a couple days here. We'll probably actually wrap up this session in a few minutes, but this is a good starting point. But I before we wrap up, I do want to know what is the plan. You have at this point like 5 or 6 different things you could do. You could also just strike out to any other spot, and if you think there's going to be something interesting there.
Yeah, I guess at this point, the 3 of us can kind of powwow back in the war room and be like, just kind of decide what we're gonna do. And thankfully, no one is mad at me for leaving out the Black Dragon.
Well, I'm mad, but I'm mad because you didn't tell us, but it's cool as shit. So it balances out, but maybe keep up the communication about a black dragon. Just lost 9 days of prep.
Well, so what are we gonna do? We're gonna
What else do we not know about? Potentially not good.
I mean, nothing jumps to mind immediately, but that doesn't mean...
Alright.
But where are we going? You gonna get the cool hat? We gonna get the cool shield? We gonna get the dragon?
What does the hat do again? I forget. Out of character.
So you guys don't know what the hat does, but apparently it is just the hat is just a super magically potent item. You don't know much more than that. No one really does, but it is it's something that is either created by or at least used by this greater devil. So
here's the thing. So the dwarves are in the mountains around Korbach, right? So they're probably not gonna be too happy about the big elf people approaching their land as well.
They do.
So,
the elves and
if we go
dwarves
work with
don't
the
know.
dwarves, the cool hat, then we have both Boarman and dwarves. They don't like each other, but we could be hey, common enemy.
Yeah, to put in perspective, there are dwarves in all these mountains around Kurbach, right? None of those are super major. There's no major kingdoms. It's mostly just small dwarven cities that city states basically, right? That occasionally will go.
So we have
Yeah, so occasionally those dwarves will go and raid their neighbors and stuff, but they're generally not too expansionist. The bigger ones are out here near the Satan's Hat. Out here, there are actually like dwarven kingdoms and stuff. So like this one here is like a major one, right?
If we tell them that there's someone approaching like both of our territories and like let's set aside differences, I mean, take them down, we get a cool hat out of it.
You know, these ones up here.
We're better prepared for the dragon if we have the time to do so. But it sounds like your friend Ayaya is like all right for now. We can just ask him at any time too.
True.
Be like, hey, if you need help, just tell us, and we'll just whoop. Like, we're not like on the other side of the world. We're still just right here.
Okay, yeah, that's true. That's
plan.
also what I was talking about, is requisition dwarven help.
Yes.
So I agree. We can also promise them gold, like it's
We have a bit.
We have a bit, but not only that, but if it's in a mountain, if it's in an old dwarven like fortress, they will surely have a like a storeroom that the devil's not gonna use, because what the fuck is he doing? What is he? Who's he trading? You know, there will be money in there.
This man can't get Dwarf Fortress up his mind.
I can't, bro.
The oysters, sort of.
I mean, in this case,
it's muscle biscuit.
Yeah, but
No, but all right. Anyway, but I actually yes, getting the dwarves to help is a good idea.
Yeah.
I think.
you see, the hat, go the lizard, the Phalian.
What does the hat do again? It's
we don't
know, but it sounds
it just
cool.
grants the guy his power. So
it is just very powerful, and the other thing is like you guys are saying, it is built like that dude's domain is this archdevil took over a dwarven keep. There's probably other artifacts there too, right? Or at least lots of equipment and gold and shit, right?
yeah. So he came over here, and then whatever happened. So we could. So, I mean, he's an archdevil, but, like, we could go and be like, hey, bro, I pledge allegiance, I swear, and then ask him, what happened, and then...
Yeah, wear your hat, sir.
Yeah, and then we kill him and take his hat.
So the way that... It's interesting, because, like, Talvo would know that, like, back home, like, in the other part of the world, devils and demons, like, fiends, they occasionally... It's almost more like a story that you tell your kids to scare them. Like, about, like, fiends coming up at night from literally, like, hell, another world below this one, right, is the idea. It's called that. No one actually knows if it literally... No one's tried to dig down to reach it, but... it's essentially...
shamefully like I did as a kid.
It's like another dimension, though, right? It's another dimension that is literally, like, a underworld hell... And that's where all the demons and devils are from in my world. In my world, there's normally not anything. There's no difference between, like, the abyss and the 9 layers of hell and all that stuff. It's just all one big dimension of hell where demons and devils are locked in eternal warfare, right? And so, like, Talvo, where Talvo is from, there would be occasional, it would be very rare that there would ever be an attack of more than just a couple devils or demons coming up to cause some, like, mischief, right? But the thing is that they're not native to this world, and so they would always, like, go back. There's never been a case of, like, or very rarely at least, has there been a case of a devil or demon trying to establish, like, a kingdom or anything, or rule, right? That's really, really never happened. But from what you guys can tell, like, if this part of the world is cut off from everything else, then this archdevil may not even have the ability to get home to hell.
It's gonna be like a buddy story. We're gonna help him get home.
What I did want to ask is, how much would it cost to give either my short bow or rapier +2 instead of +1?
Well, you just have to get a new one, I think.
You would just have to get a new one. You would be able to find, or you could find a person to enchant them, right? And it might make it a little cheaper, but it would take, like, weeks, if not months of work. Let me restart my music here. +2 would be getting a +2 weapon, or would you say short bow or rapier?
Short bow. My rapier's
It's special, yeah.
Family heirloom, yeah.
Yeah.
So
So
it would
like,
need to be worked on rather than just buying a new one.
Yeah.
But I would be open to just buying a new short bow.
yeah, a +2 short bow would run you the cost of about 2,000 gold.
Holy fuck.
Yeah, they're very rare. There would be like, you would be able to find one in the whole city, and it would be like in a emporium run by like one of the richest boarmen in the city that caters to boarmen like nobles and like, you know, generals and shit, right? This is very rare stuff. And like,
Okay.
non-boarmen are never allowed in this shop in the first place, by the way, except you have the seal, and that's the only reason. You're treated like a hero, you're like an honorary boarman, right? But
Yeah.
like literally only boarmen of the highest rank are ever even allowed in this place where you find it, and you're an exception to that. So
Any chance I could perhaps like seek out a very cool special arrow other than the ballista bolts?
let's see. Let me look. So there is like just like enchanted ammunition. Hold on, let me see. Actually need to look at it.
I mean, if we were able to find like a devil slaying arrow, like, I would maybe perhaps change our plans.
There's a lot of stuff that, well, actually, maybe not over here because they're not so much of a problem. But I know that there exist a lot of anti-devil, anti-fiend weapons.
There, yeah, that is one where you would actually have to probably spend a few days asking around to look for something along those lines. Or commission something, and again, that would take maybe a couple weeks, depending on what it is. But it's also, you know, beyond Aya being in that city, you don't really have any other pressing concerns as far as you know. There's no reason you can't take downtime, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess it would also be up to my fellow adventurers. Like, would you guys be willing to like hang out while I commission some very powerful arrows to
I think that could be beneficial.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like an arrow slaying. Oh god, let's look at that. So arrow slaying. I use a specific like
I forgot about the shaman. Yeah, what if the shaman does it?
The shaman could do stuff like casting banish, if that's what you're talking about.
Because I can't use banish. I'm looking at all the spells and shit. I can't use banishment as a bard.
I think Duncan can use it though. It is a cleric spell. So if you got a scroll of banishment,
Oh yeah, I can do.
Yeah.
I'm looking at I'm thinking of like a shopping list here.
Duncan, what is
Like,
your spell save DC?
Hallucinatory terrain sounds fun.
It's not that high. It's 14, but I'm actually
So like
when we get around to me, I'm going to improve that.
okay, yeah. To put in perspective though, the Boarman shaman Shat is he is, again, he's much more for like, he's being given to you guys, but he's not really a combat shaman, right? He's like, hey, I can do a ritual to like make you see a spirit vision type shaman, right?
Wild magic.
He's gonna be able to do useful stuff for you, but he's not really meant to do combat. And to put in perspective, his DC is not even gonna be as high as yours already, Duncan. So if you want to do something like banish, it would be much better for Duncan to do that rather than the shaman. He's a utility shaman.
Do scrolls count as... Oh, good.
Go ahead.
The scroll count as what?
Scrolls count as a spell slot or no?
No, it's like... That's the good thing about spell scrolls, right? Is that it's like everything you need to do the spell is already infused in the spell scroll.
Nice. Okay, good.
Right.
Sorry.
I don't want to be the kid who's like, hey, you didn't collect our homework. But how much is it gonna cost to make sure that everyone in the castle is like fed and?
I'm not really worrying about that right now because we're basically just assuming all the kind of loot from the battle with Hilda is paying for that right now. right? Like all the various loot things that you guys didn't really care about.
But I would like to have like a good like 2 months worth of food and
If you want to
supplies.
stock up and stuff, I would say it wouldn't actually be that much. It would be like you can spend like maybe 50 gold. That'll cover decent rations for a while. So
Duncan, that's on you.
Yeah, I actually
Party funds.
I already did that.
Okay. Yeah.
But I want to know that even though we have a freaking flying castle, I just don't want to be besieged and not be able to
Yeah.
withhold.
Yeah, we'll say generally the way I do some of this is like if you do something like that, buy a bunch of provisions at once, I'll say here's a lump sum you pay. Other than that, the day-to-day stuff is fine, so it does not really big deal.
I mean, there's got to be some leftovers from the feast, right?
Yeah, that too. All right, so as far as an arrow of slaying, if you want to commission one for a fiend, you'd probably have to go to like a couple like temples, like Boarman temples, and all of which, interestingly, have until this point they've had statues of Kurbak and his 3 children. One of those statues is covered over now.
Pulled down.
It's not pulled down. It's just covered over for now. But an arrow of slaying is going to cost you 600 gold to commission, and that would take. We'll say that would take. It'd take about 2 weeks to make.
Okay. The question is, do I want an arrow of fiend slaying, devil slaying, whatever, or do I want a dragon slaying arrow?
Oh, we already have 3 dragon slaying arrows, spear, javelin, those two things. So, having one for the devil might be smart. Oh, that's smart, Xylo.
Yeah, you could have like your shaman friend. He could do like invisibility on you before you go into combat.
Oh, would he need the scroll for that?
Yeah, you would just give him a scroll of greater invisibility.
How much are scrolls in general? So I have like
It
10
depends.
tabs
It
open.
depends on the spell. Depends on the spell.
Okay. What about magic weapons? What's available for those?
Like you want,
Typically, I'm just a spellcaster, but I'm like,
yeah. So if you want, like, what is your rapier? Is it a +1?
yes, I have very basic sword.
So if you wanted to upgrade to a +2, well, what did I say for you, TSM?
You said 2K.
2K. It's
I
2.
also have Jed's axe. Oh yeah, did we ever tell him that Jed's dead as well? Oh well.
You know, he wouldn't really care about that.
He would have heard
Yeah,
that.
that's fair.
So it would be 2K. It's going to be 2,000 for any +2 weapon here.
Okay, I don't have that much money.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna confer together. We're all gonna
Spirit.
together. And we're gonna discuss. Hey, maybe should we buy a +2 weapon for somebody, or do we think I think it's a $6,000 or 6,000 gold coin.
I mean, we could sell all, because we have the Imperial Seals, we could sell all of our, like, dozen or so +1 weapons, and that should get us 5,000
Yeah.
gold.
True.
Because we're not going to fucking use them.
Yeah, a +1.
I'll take Hilda's head and hold it out of my inventory.
Yeah, a +1 weapon you could sell for about like 300 gold, 250. We'll say
Okay.
300. So if
What's
you
for
want to
this?
sell +1 for 300, just so
Okay,
you know.
so I also have Jed's axe.
Yeah, that would be a
Can we go over
+1.
those? Yeah.
Jed's axe is
Would
a
they pay
+1.
higher for that because that's a Boarman thing? Like, hey, look at this.
Yeah, not really. No.
Okay,
In fact,
fine.
if you say like Jed, it's like this belonged to
What if-
Jed, a
Oh,
great
it's really
warrior.
shitty persuasion.
They would be like, oh, he's a traitor. We can't buy that. No, they wouldn't do that. They don't care. But it would be. You're not getting a special deal for that though. So it'd be 300 gold for 300 gold to sell, or for selling +1 weapons. I'm gonna just write in the chat so we have it written down.
Okay, so I'm gonna sell 2 then. I'll go to from 1,030 gold to 1,630 gold.
So yeah, so that, and then 2,000 to buy a +2 weapon.
I think I should. I never used the dagger, but I don't know if having like a small thing would be useful or not.
Is it just a normal dagger?
It's a +1.
Oh yeah, because I guess because yeah.
But I also never use it, so.
Yeah. It's up to you.
You're the stabby guy. Is a dagger useful?
I already have two. I want someone to just like sharpen my rapier or make my bow better, but because we lost our tank, it seems like
small melee weapon might be good.
Stabbing is better. I just want to upgrade my. I really want to upgrade my rapier. Is kind of what it comes down to.
If you want to upgrade the rapier, it would still be about 2,000. It would just take a couple weeks again, or like probably like a month, or getting closer to a month for that. You could always like give them this while you go do the devil thing. You just wouldn't have it with you then. You would also know though, like I would say Duncan, especially being a cleric, right? And having basically done the work of paladins and clerics in the past, devils, like fiends, are pretty rare in this part of the world. But you would have been trained by the others who you've worked with in the past and stuff, Duncan. Adau would know a bit about devils, about fiends, like basically just as an in case, it's like it was always like in case you ever run into one. He's probably never run into one, but you would know, for instance, that like as long as you have a magic weapon, it generally is going to get past like their resistances.
Yeah,
that's the most important thing.
Heals me. So how much to buy a +1 weapon?
So a +1 to buy, it would be about 300 as well. They're basically giving you like full price if you sell them here.
I buy a better +1 dagger that does something more than just a regular dagger.
No, because that would be more expensive.
Okay, what if it's okay? How much? Because so like Xyla has a point where it's like something like heals you or does necrotic damage. How much would something like that go for? But +1, because I don't need like a super fancy dagger.
Something like that is going to be pretty expensive, right? So like,
all right, never mind.
So all right, look. So when you're getting something that has a magical effect, it usually doesn't also come with a +1, 2, 3, etc. Those are usually just like a baseline effect of their own.
Like, so for instance, there is something.
You're right.
There's something called a sword of life stealing, which is like a sword of life stealing sucks life from enemies when you get a 20, when you get a crit, right? Specifically when you roll a 20. It does necrotic damage if you roll 20, right? But it isn't +1. And even without being +1, those would cost you a couple, or like about 1,200 gold.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Oh, I need to get a weapon. I need to get a +2 anyway.
What about something like some holy water? Would that damage a fiend?
Holy water is a thing. I'm trying to remember. I think that is a thing. Like, yeah. Hold on. Oh yeah, holy water. As an action, you can splash the contents. This is actually an actual item in the Dungeon Master's Guide. As an action, you can splash the contents of this flask onto a creature within 5 feet of you, or throw it up to 20 feet away. In either case, make a ranged weapon attack against the creature, treating it as an improvised weapon. If the target is a fiend or undead, so in this case, fiend or undead, so you could use it for other things even if you don't get around to the devil, right? It takes 2d6 radiant damage.
Huh.
Oh, clerics can actually make holy water, like whenever.
Shit.
But
Hook me up.
But it takes
Just now, telling you?
it takes 25 gold piece worth of powdered silver, and 1 hour to perform the ritual, and a first level spell slot. So you could
I can make it
overnight.
It's just
yeah, it's like
overnight.
well, even while you're traveling there, you could make like 10 of these. But again, it only does 2d6. It's like that's the same amount as like hitting someone with a great sword.
I mean, do I get sneak attack on that if I were to do it?
Oh, that's a good question. I think sneak attack has to be done with a finesse or ranged weapon, so maybe not, because this is an
Troll
improvised.
Spire
This is an
would be
improvised weapon. Let's go look.
You could coat the end of your arrow with holy water.
You might be able to do something like that, but I don't know. Let's see. Let's go look
Improvised arrow instead of commissioned
at
one.
sneak attack. The attack must be a finesse or ranged weapon. So no, it wouldn't work because this is an improvised weapon, not finesse.
Yeah, I thought improvised was.
Yeah.
What if you made me do a dexterity saving to see if I finesse it or not?
No, finesse is not really a thing you can add on to something. Finesse is like certain weapons
What
are
if you're
finesse
really good
weapons,
at
like rapiers, right?
Yeah, like how
Yeah,
graceful
but make it a
they are.
crit. If he crits, it's a finesse.
Holy
You
water
do
doesn't
no
have
damage
any.
until
Holy water doesn't have anything on its own, Zyle. Certain creatures, it'll specify. Certain creatures that have regeneration, it'll specify if it does or not. But that's not. It's not an inherent thing of holy water, though, right? In fact, most devils and demons don't even have regeneration.
Just another quick question. How many people did we add to the group as
just the shaman.
Well, but also we have Talvo's group.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Jeffrey. And,
Yeah, most of them were like,
coming
yeah.
with us?
The what?
They're coming with us.
Yeah, do you want them to come with you?
Of
So,
course.
I don't care.
In that case, that would take you from a little over 30 to about like 45.
Okay.
So yeah, there's about maybe 15 of them. So somewhere between 45 and 50 total, which is a decent number at that point, you know.
Yeah, that's like 2 battalions.
Yeah, yeah. If you get them all up on like the side of a castle with bows and arrows, they could rain down some real. They could rain down some real problems for your enemies. So.
Well, I
Yeah.
mean, there's that, and then also like we have 22 Boarmen, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm keeping track of it all.
You are an accountant. You are an accountant. But yeah, I mean, like the Boarmen are a pretty good shock force.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's But yeah. So okay, Duncan, you said you wanted to look for something, right?
Yeah, I'm
What do you-
looking for. Oh, well, I guess it's not a link. Let me look. Well, okay, I guess I'll just tell you. I'm looking for an amulet of the devout.
Okay, amulet of the Devute.
Yeah, and if that's not possible, I want to find a belt of giant strength.
Okay, those can come. So let me look at amulet. What does that actually do?
Holy shit!
It's in comp.
It's yeah. It's spell save, go up. Attack roll for magic, go up.
Oh, it's basically like the equivalent of like a pack keeper's rod for a warlock or
Essentially,
whatever. Yeah, where it just makes it. Yeah, I got it. Yeah. So okay, so the Boarmen are very religious, like in their, or at least some of them are, right? In their religious fervor for Kurbak, right?
Kurbak,
So you can easily. This would actually be pretty easy to find these. You could even probably find a +3. If you go, like, basically, if you ask around the royal palace, they'd be like, yeah, like our chief priest has one, our chief cleric. They're not going to give you the +3. But you actually probably could, with your royal seal, go to like one of the larger temples in the city and be like, I want to buy, this symbol you use. And it would actually, the funny thing is, it would be a symbol to Kurbak, but the way magic works, it doesn't actually matter. It just has to be a symbol, and you can even modify it after that point. Just don't tell the Boarman.
Yeah, I'd like to worship Kurbak, please.
Yeah, but so you could actually find that because of the fact that there's quite a few large temples that you are regarded as heroes in. Problem is, they're gonna be expensive. At least a +2 is. So a +1 you could buy for around 250 gold. That's a +1. A +2 will cost you 2,000 gold.
Okay. What about the belt?
Okay, yeah. So then a belt of giant strength. What type? I guess it would just be the best one possible.
Yeah, any that I can find.
Belt of. Let's see. Okay, what is it? The weakest is hill, and what does that do? Like, is it 21 strength? I think.
Yeah, it's 21. And
Even
Frost and
that,
Stone are 23.
even that
Fire
is going to be
25.
pretty rare here. You
They
would be
don't
able
need it to.
because like you need to like kill those type of giants to get the materials to make these, right? And there's not a lot of giants of these types, so like you'd be able to find a hill giant strength belt. It would also cost you 2,000 gold.
Yes. Okay.
It's actually fun. I'm actually looking at my guide, and that literally, like, I use a thing that has a reference sheet, and then I actually am cutting it in half from what it normally is because of the fact that gold is more valuable here.
Okay.
Even still 2,000. It actually is 2,000 when you cut it in half.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I mean, I'm not. Duncan's buying it. I'm increasing the price. Like, I don't think you're.
Well, like, to put it in perspective, like, the amount of gold that he gave you guys, like, he gave you a chest of 5,000 gold, right? That is a lot. Like, I'm not sure, but but it's not going to be enough to buy every artifact you want, right? So
it's not like we're just buying.
I need a weapon of some kind.
If you, like, you know, especially because you killed one of his enemies for sure, but it's not like you conquered a whole city for Kurbak. If you had, like, conquered a full city, then you might be getting to the point where he would buy whatever you want for you, right? So
Okay.
Keep that in mind.
All right. Well, so do you guys have any objections to getting rid of our +1 melee weapons? Because I don't think our not getting rid of all.
I'm gonna keep my basic dagger, like, just in case. But
no, not the ones not yours. The ones that we got they enchanted at the wellspring.
Yeah, no.
No one cares. How many do we have? Poetry.
You're talking about, like, the ones that your troops have?
Yeah, of all types. Because we have normal weapons for them all.
We'll say you have 18.
18.
Yeah.
That's better than I had in the notes.
Yeah. We'll say you have 18.
And we and you think I could, sell those for 300 gold apiece?
Yeah, I think so, yeah. The thing is, +1 magic items they're cheap enough where, like, even a rich merchant could save up for one of those. In other words, there's a lot of buyers for those, right? +2 ones are harder to sell because not many people have that much money. +1s, they're going to go off the shelves pretty quick.
Yeah.
Relatively quick.
Let's see if this works. Yep, it did. So 5,400 gold. I didn't need to do that math, but I wanted to see if that would work.
I think you can actually just do equations like... let's see.
Oh, yeah, you're right. All right.
Yeah, you can actually just do math in Roll20.
Cool.
You have to do roll for whatever reason still, but...
Yeah.
Equals...
We're in Excel. Slash roll.
There we go.
Yo, let's go. Okay, well, yes, I'm gonna sell all of them around the city, and I'm gonna say just I guess I don't really need to justify it, but because they're all gonna be wielding bows and staying in the castle as support.
Yeah.
But so let's what is that? It's gonna be 10, 400, 10, 350.
I will say you do have this is a good time to introduce a minor NPC that is part of your guys' crew now. They were one of the, like, 10 people who were, like, mind controlled, right?
Yeah.
Like, half of those 10 were actually one group of, like, adventurers. Like, they're kind of novice adventurers, which is why they got caught by that trap, right? But they're actually led by a little halfling who's got a lot of spunk, and when you, like, kind of like going through and you're like, sorry guys, we got to take all your +1 weapons away, there's not really a lot of grumbling. There's like, okay. But when you get to this halfling, he's like, I don't want to get rid of me dagger.
You can keep let the small man have a dagger.
Yeah, what's it? I want to ask his name. Like, I want to introduce. Like,
my name's Riley.
How do you spell
Riley?
That?
Riley.
All right, cool, gotcha.
Can I try to persuade him?
No, we don't need it. You can keep it.
He's like the only thing I value more than this dagger is my lyre.
All right, we're selling the lot now.
We got a bard.
He is a bard, actually. Yeah, you would have heard him playing songs.
Nice. All right, cool. We got a morale booster.
He's a little halfling bard.
Any more +1 weapons we find, we're gonna equip one, like, each of you with one. These are just needed so that I can get the cool stuff, and by that I mean but yeah, no. As we find more magical items, we will re-equip you all. At the minute, though, I would like to buy both of those things.
Okay, so you're buying the Hill Giant Strength
Yeah.
For 2,000, and the plus
Amulet of the
2
Devout. Plus 2 Amulet of the Devout.
for also 2,000. Okay.
All for 2,000.
Yeah. What about? So I mean, at that point, like, what about the others? Because you guys also had some 2,000 cost ones that you wanted.
Talvo is too busy celebrating with his refound friends.
Okay.
I would say, what are we gonna like? I'm gonna go in like half on a weapon and then like half. So I only need like 1,000.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know because
I
we're
can
also getting
also-
these spells.
Yeah, I can add 1,400 back to the party fund, and then I can put in my own money for that too, which I will do.
Yeah.
Okay. So
And all my silver and copper.
so Helios, what were you gonna buy then?
I do need a +2 weapon of some kind. I
Okay.
just didn't figure that part out yet because I was looking at the spells.
Do you? I mean, so yeah. Do you
I
have
think-
your?
This combo would be good.
Me.
Okay, yeah. I like major image.
Okay. Major
I don't know about
image.
hallucinatory terrain. It's like interesting, but I feel like a black dragon's probably smart. It would be really tricky to.
So you want? Oh, so you want like one major image, one greater invisibility.
Yeah, with somebody. So the other ones I'm thinking like maybe like slow. Help us.
Slow is
for
pretty
a
good.
dragon.
Slow is
Like,
pretty good. So yeah, so let me just okay, so then just put what you want and I'll tell you how much that would total for each
Okay,
of
how
these.
much would these 3 total?
Okay, so that's a third level, and
A
what is it, and then a fourth level. So that would be hold on. For all that, 800 gold for those 3.
Okay.
So-
I have 1,600.
So that would be half your money.
So half my money. Yeah. So then I would have 800, and then I would need 1,200 to buy a. Cool
You need to borrow
sword.
1,200 from the castle funds.
Yes.
Okay.
Does the accountant agree with that? Because I haven't seen the actual numbers.
800?
So,
Yeah,
No, so I would need 1,200, and that would be all of my
Need
money. though.
1,200?
Yeah.
Yeah, we have 7,600 GP left.
okay. So,
fuck, okay,
so,
I'm
all
gonna-
right. So yeah. So in that case, you're gonna be at 0 gold, but you will get. Make sure to put these in your inventory or your notes, Helios. Yeah. So you have one of each of those spell scrolls. So you got greater invisibility,
Yeah, I
slow.
have 30 gold. I had 1,630,
Okay,
so I
yes.
have 30. Just hanging
Yeah.
out.
So you have one scroll of major image, one scroll of slow, one scroll of greater invisibility, and you have a +2 rapier now, I guess.
I don't know. What can I get that's funky?
I mean, rapier's like the thing you're used to. You could also get like a saber, but that's just a reskin rapier.
Proficient in hand crossbow, longsword, rapier, short sword, and other simple weapons.
At
Yeah.
any point during this, could I use a merchant's insight to try to get a slightly better deal?
Throw that in the chat. What does that do?
It's just an advantage on insight.
Oh, okay.
So I mean, the thing is, in this case, you could make sure that no one's trying to like swindle you.
But we're already like getting an insane deal.
Yeah, you're already getting like the best deal possible, realistically.
Yeah.
So, like you're getting basically wholesale price, right? So they couldn't really go any lower.
How do I add a weapon?
What you can do is you could just edit the one you have currently.
I removed it because I'm smart.
Oh, that's fine. What you can do, I can do it for you. But just in the future, one way to do it is if you go to the compendium at the top right and type, in this case, if you just did rapier, you can just
there we go.
drag. Yep, there you go. You can just drag a +2 rapier, and then I'll make sure that it's doing the right damage because you have 12 dex, so it should be. Yeah, it's doing the attack roll correctly. And here, if you want to roll it, just like roll an attack with it. We can check to see. I'll do that.
God damn
So
it.
+6 is that's
I'm gonna
correct.
stab the shopkeeper.
And then the damage is okay. Well, it's crit, but then beyond that, +1 dex, +2 magic. Yep, it's it. Yep. So it's using it right. There you
How
go.
did that happen there?
That's fine.
Alright.
But yeah, so alright, so So that's what. So Helios and Adau have done their shopping, at least for now.
Okay, so we do have like a lot of. If anybody else wants like a spell that we can use,
Yeah.
let us
And
know
what-
because we have the funds. Apparently, we can grab like 1 or 2 more.
Yeah, I was gonna say, as the only martial character, is what's left in the fund to get me something?
Yeah.
So am I supposed to, after, did you just buy something else that I have to subtract more from?
No, it's just the 1,200 that he
so-
took.
Okay, yeah, then
Yes.
it's, then 7,600 is left.
Oh fuck.
Yeah, you guys have a lot right now.
So I guess I'll just have someone improve my family rapier. Does that cost more than just?
It just
That-
takes more time.
It would actually, yeah, it would actually be a little cheaper since you're providing them a +1 rapier. So it would actually only be 1,500, but it will take a couple weeks.
Well, I think we've already settled on the fact that we're gonna hang out for a little while, right?
Do you want
Yeah.
to? It's up to you.
And we can leave on short notice if we need. We're stocked up enough to just like if we have to. But
Okay, if you want to kind of chill around here, you could.
I guess I had so like the guy can't use sending, but I can. So like I have to check into him. He can't send us like a help.
Yeah. Exactly.
So would it be cheaper to improve my bow or sell my bow and then buy a +2?
I mean, it would be. Yeah, I see what you're saying. I guess it would be if you want to do. I would say again, it'd be 1,500 to take it from a +1 to a +2.
Okay.
So you'd be saving a little bit, but it would take more time. It would take a couple weeks.
So we're looking at 3 weeks at 3k gold. That's
Yeah,
right?
3. If you want to upgrade the rapier and the bow, it'd be 3,000 package deal from like one. And keep in mind again, this is something that like is so expensive that you're basically in like the royal district right around the capital, going to like a royal enchanter who normally does like stuff for nobility, right? Yeah, you would pay if you want to do that. It would be 3,000 gold and a few weeks. So is that the plan?
I would like to confer with my 2 other adventurers, but is this?
I mean, I think a loose 4,000 gold is still quite a lot. So we can spare that for a really good weapon.
You know.
Yeah.
Okay. So in that case,
we could also use it to buy raw materials, food,
Yeah.
all that.
Well, that
And-
was the
Yeah, 'cause
other thing I
it's-
wanted to do, as I wanted to buy like better rations for.
I was
Okay.
gonna say
Yeah.
we can get more than $50. You know, we can.
Well, $50
Get
is
some
50
good-
silver. We spent like $500. Like a
Yeah.
dollar is equivalent. I mean, really, it's like more like a copper.
Yeah.
Maybe not in this part of the world, but
hey, yeah,
you know.
it's 50 gold is a lot. It doesn't sound like a lot, but 50 gold is a lot for a normal person. If you
yeah, we are just the 1%.
to put in
Yeah,
perspective,
that's fair.
if we let's see, let me go find the number so I can give you an idea of like, okay, so like expenses. If you go to like an inn in this part of the world, right, to get like normal accommodations is like 5 silver, half a gold. And that includes food and a room. That would be like a decent hotel with food included is like half a gold a day, right? And you just and that's for one person. And you just spent so like 50 gold to just for food is going to take you a pretty long ways, right? So
Yeah, but we can
yeah,
make
when
like
I-
$60.
Yeah. Yeah. When I said
want-
raw materials, I meant like metal, and you know how
Oh,
like
okay.
if we're gonna be here for a couple weeks, then I would like to have a furnace and forge put into the keep.
Oh wow, okay. Yeah, you could
That's only if we're gonna be
Warm
here
us
for a
up.
couple weeks.
you could absolutely do that too. That would take a couple weeks, but if you're already going to be here a couple weeks, it would be about the same time. So
Yeah.
is that
How much would that
We're doing any
cost
studying.
for the stone and for the tools and anvil?
it would take like I'm trying to think because it's like it's not going to be like a magical forge or anything. It's just a normal forge to do repairs and upkeep and stuff, and maybe like make a few new weapons when needed.
I guess I would like to. We should probably hire a blacksmith too, unless somebody already knows on the castle.
There would be a couple of people who have basic knowledge, right? But unless you get a blacksmith, if you get a blacksmith, you could make new weapons. But as it is, it would just be like repairs of current weapons and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
But But even that's better than nothing. I would say a forge would cost like probably like 500 gold to put in.
Okay.
But
And
it's
then
gonna
there was 3,000 for everything else that Talvo wanted to do? Or was it 1,500?
it was 3,000. But
yeah, it was 250.
but do you have any coming out of your own money, Talvo, or are you out of money?
I mean, I have 7,000.
Oh yeah, you have 700 gold with this. So I'm
Yeah,
gonna say you
so-
can use that. You can use your.
At
I
least-
used all my money. Helios used all his money. You can use your own money.
At least a decent bit of it.
Yeah.
So how much silver am I subtracting?
Okay, wait. So you have how much silver?
Like 7,000.
7.5k.
7. So that's only 750 gold. Wait, because 7,005 because it's 10 to 1. So
23.
so that means that you So if let me go look here. Yeah. So if you spend 70, that would be 750 gold worth. So you would need another 2,250 from the party funds. Which that's about as much as like Adau used, or a little more, I guess. Than Anyway, it's So if you remove all your silver, or I guess leave 59 because I see you have a little extra left over.
Yeah.
So then remove that Duncan from the party fund, and then he'll be squared off for that. So let me write in my notes. Let me write in my notes though. Group plans to spend 2 to 3 weeks getting a forge installed,
A garden and an alchemist station.
Talvo's weapons both
Garden we can make
upgraded
food, then how
to
would a garden fare in like the upper atmosphere?
well,
Depends on the flesh you're using.
you guys are going to be that high all the time, so so anyways though, I think it's a good spot to wrap up. If you come up with any other ideas, right, before next session,
We can
but
fix it in the back end.
the other thing is, next session I will probably present you with a couple side jobs you could do while you're waiting.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask about.
Yeah, there might be some little like side jobs you could knock out. Other than that, if not, the next time we'll just, if you don't care to do it, we'll just like skip forward in time. So
Do the devil from the Bible.
so okay, so I'll write that down.
2 nat 1s in a row and then a 3. That's Pog. There we go. Because now I have a +5 strength bonus and 3 proficiency, and it's a +3 weapon.
Yeah, well, keep in mind though, again, the
It's just once.
It's
right?
just once,
That'd be a
yeah.
one shot.
Yeah.
We get 3, and then the damage is like ridiculous. Yeah, the damage. Oh, I critted on that one too, so that's like an insane amount of damage.
It would be an insane amount.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
An indoor garden.
But yeah, like you can use the arrow dragon slaying on non-dragon creatures before then, and it doesn't act as a +3 against them though.
Yeah.
Does it lose
So,
the dragon
like
slaying or whatever?
Dragon detected, and then that's when it.
Yeah, exactly. It's basically like basically if you shoot it from a bow like Kurbak was going to, which you guys obviously can't, you're not big enough, but like the idea is that it guides itself essentially when it is shot at a dragon. It can sense that you're shooting at a dragon, and then it like homes in on them, right?
How terrifying would that be? Like you aim it like an enemy, and then it swerves and misses, and you're like, oh.
Yeah. Or like you're just like practicing with it, and it just like swerves off into a random person. Surprise! There was a dragon in disguise. No, but yeah, no. Anyway, so. But no, so it's not literally homing. It's just So yeah, that will.
So fun.
I think that's gonna do it for today's session.
Very fun combat filled.
Yeah, no combat this time, but that's okay. I figured that we would have like a kind of more laid back one. What we'll say is for next time, just be thinking about, is there anything else you want to buy?
Magic missile.
And is there any other like things you would want to investigate? But other than that,
Is there any? Can I like learn extra stuff about the dragon as like, because like I'm in my like hometown where I did the studies.
we could do that.
Can I
Yeah.
learn any weaknesses and shit?
Yeah, we can. Let me write this in my notes. So I can write that Helios will spend time, because next time I can have that prepared. Helios will spend time researching dragons, including this dragon.
Oh, he's not even here.
Yeah. So this dragon. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah. What types? If you think of anything else, just feel free to message me on Discord. But
Okay.
yeah. I
think having more spells would be cool, but money. So.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think that's gonna do it for us. I am going to wrap up the stream, and yeah. I guess before we go, let's see. Anyone else got any stream spend? TSM, I know, is gonna do. He's gone. He's gonna do Tetris.
Yeah, I'm definitely do Peggle tomorrow because I can wake up in the morning. I'm gonna do your strategy. Also, fuck you, but nice job.
Yeah.
I'm gonna wake up. I'm gonna maybe I can't afford food. I'll wake up and play Peggle.
Okay.
But we'll see if we can sub hour tomorrow. Maybe tonight. But.
Yeah. Good luck with that. And yeah, it's no. I think I'll be streaming later tonight. Probably. I'll probably take a break for like an hour and a half or something, and then do like a late night stream. So. And yeah, TSM. I guess here. Let's wait. TSM.
Because you're streaming immediately.
TSM, could you hear us?
Cast silence. You can't hear us. Hello.
TSM, are you about to be going live with Teddy's?
I'm literally already live.
Okay, I'm gonna host you then. I was just gonna say, but yeah, that's gonna be it for the stream. So goodbye, everyone watching. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see what happens next week. Bye bye.
Adios.
Yay.